Hi everyone, and welcome back. My name is Moonmist, and we're going to be continuing to play Higurashi. So we're probably getting close to finishing off this chapter, so let's go ahead and continue. Oh, I'm not really sure. I think this might be the last chapter, but I'm not really 100% positive. But we'll see. Alright, let's see. I guess I'll be lying if I said I didn't get any sleep. I tried to stay awake all night, but there's definitely gaps in my memory. I guess I nodded off and drifting awake in a panic all night. Aww. I spent all night hugging a metal bat and sat on top of the futon I used to barricade my door. Waiting, in case someone trying to break through my window. If I left this spot, someone would break through the door, sending the futon flying and attack me. But if I stopped watching the window, someone would break through the glass and attack me. I tried telling myself that I was being paranoid, but I couldn't sleep. I thought being so vulnerable scared the living daylights out of me. If sleep meant taking that risk I didn't need it. It was so much better just to stay awake. At some point during the endless cycle of nodding off and jolting awake, light began to shine outside, but that was it. It wasn't so much of the morning as it was just the sun simply having risen. I snuck a peek through the curtains. Rena was gone. I couldn't see her anywhere no matter how hard I looked. Finally, I could breathe, deep sigh of relief. The night was finally over. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't tired, but I didn't feel like sleeping at the moment. I still had time, but I need to make my own breakfast so I better get started soon. Skipping school was also an option. But with Mom gone, it'd be easy to play hooky. Honestly, I debated it. The risk involved in leaving my house was incalculable. So staying holed up in here was probably my safest option. But staying here wouldn't solve anything. Oshi-san wouldn't help me without cold, hard evidence. Neither he nor my parents. So unless I found some sort of proof that relentless night would never end. I stretched my body, tilted my head back, closed my eyes, just like I did every morning. Oh, poor Keiichi. I was on guard and didn't get a wink of sleep. I regulated my breathing and regained my senses. Calm down, Keiichi, my brother. Let's go to school. Let's wait until they have their trap for me. But that didn't mean I was going to twiddle my thumbs. I needed to avoid that trap, secure irrefutable evidence. Take notes on the plates of any cars that drives by. If I see someone suspicious, check their clothes and face. I wasn't just protecting myself, I was preparing myself to turn their attack against them and retaliate. The tension was similar to when two samurais were both aiming to slay each other with a single motion as they threw their katanas. I was not at a disadvantage. I had a chance to retaliate. I finally felt a bit of courage growing in my chest. Oh. Wait, let me double check something real quick. Just be one moment. Oh, I almost forgot to use something. Come on, work with me. There we go. Okay, I just had to do something real quick for the stream. Let's see. Oh, wait. Alright. Let's go to school. I tightened my grasp on Satoshi's bat. He was the only partner I can count on. Satoshi, please lend me your strength. And entrust your dying regrets to me, since you're probably murdered. Oh. Make sure I dispel them. Poor Keiichi. With renewed resolve, I checked the clock. It was still early. Of course I was going to school by myself today. But if I didn't want to run into Rena or Mion, I needed to leave now. Man, everyone's against Keiichi now. The shattered fragments of the cupboard were still strewn all over the entryway. Right. I meant to clean that up last night, but I never got around to it within the phone call and everything. My parents came back and saw this while I was at school. I will never hear the end of it. Still, I'll be wasting time if I clean it up now, and considering that would have happened if I ran into Ren Armion, it wouldn't be too late to clean it up after I got back home. Making extra certain that the doors were locked, I left the house. My uniform was still covered in mud from yesterday, so I left it in the washer. Today, I was going to school in a tracksuit. By wearing different clothes this morning, my mind was forced to accept that today was different from yesterday. I had a hunch. Today might be the day I get killed. Keep your guard up, Keiki, my bra. The only one who gets to decide if today's my last is me. Oh, that sucks that he has to constantly be on guard now. Poor guy. Oh, I guess he's practicing his swinging again. I spent my morning practicing my swing, like it was in my natural routine. After a while, Rena arrived at school. Our eyes met, but we said nothing. Rena said nothing about last night, as if it never happened. But I could see that those events were real by the wounds carved into her fingers. I just heard her telling Satsuko and the others that the bandages were from hurting herself in the kitchen. Though, it wasn't like it bothered me. The details that Oshi-san shared about Rena's incident before her transfer, played vividly in my mind. Now that I knew about it, I couldn't even dream Rena as a cute, ideal girl. Oh, hey, Leon. Kei-chan, I see you're still aiming to be in the nationals. It was Mion. I already sensed her approach, so I wasn't that surprised.
Mion ka.
Oh, Mion.
わかってるなら放っておいてくれよ。
If you understand, then leave me alone.
俺は甲子園で忙しいんだ。
I'm busy practicing. I gave her a cut reply without my usual jokes. Then he gave the bat an even harder swing, tenacity keeping Mion from getting any closer.
Kei-chan, ちょっと休憩。
Hey, Kei-chan, take it easy. I think Mion got the message, but she still urged me to give it a rest.
ホームルームまであとちょっとだろ。
Homer's not that far off, is it?
もう一汗かかせてくれよ。
Just let me finish practicing. I swung the bat even harder as a sign of my refusal.
ケイちゃんって野球好きだったっけ？
Kei-chan, when did you get into baseball?
最近好きになった。
Just recently.
最近って昨日から？
Recently? You mean yesterday?
分かってんなら聞くなよ。
Don't ask if you already know.
あれまあ。
Oh dear.
スポーツマンにしては爽やかじゃないお返事だことで。
That's a very unsportsmanlike reply.
気が散る。
You're distracting me.
放っておいてくれ。
Go away. I ignored Mion and kept on swinging. Normally she'd get mad or bored and leave if someone gave her the cold shoulder, like this. But Mion just stood there, waiting patiently for me to stop swinging. I didn't sense any hostility, but we were at school in plain view. I doubt she suddenly attacked me here. Or was that too naive? Still, I was starting to get tired. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to take a break and hear her out.
何か用なんだろう。
You need something from me, right?
なんだよ。
What is it? Sweat poured from me as I stopped swinging. I noticed my shoulders were heaving as I breathed. I cursed my lack of exercise. At this rate, I might not be able to move as I needed when time comes. I should probably keep practicing my swings to build up stamina in addition to excuse him carrying the bat around with me.
用ってわけでもないけどさ。
Well, it's nothing
お
important.
疲れのようなら後にするけど。
If you're tired, I can ask again later.
今でいい。
I was fine. I'm only dealing with you right now because I adjust the situation to be safe. Talking to you alone and away from others, that's out of the question.
さ。
Well, Mion was uncharacteristically trying to choose her words, but unlike Oshi-san, It didn't look like she was going to talk about something I'd rather not hear. Mion was puzzled, trying to find the right things to say. But then she gave a hearty laugh to break herself out of that mire.
おじさんダメだわ、こういうの。
This old man's just not good at this stuff.
ボキャ品は辛いわ。
Having a poor vocabulary hurts.
なん
yeah,
だよ
true.
突然。
And what's this all of a sudden?
言いたいことがあるならはっきりと言えよ。
If you just have something to say, just say it.
やめてよ、
Stop it.
素振り。
Stop that swing. She cut straight to the point. Her request was so frank, I didn't understand it for a moment. I already stopped swinging to listen to her, didn't I?
ちゃんとやめてるだろ。
I just stopped, didn't I?
じゃなくて、
That's not what I meant.
今日で終わりにしてほしいの。
I want today to be the last day you swing that bat.
悪いけど。
I'm sorry. It took some time for me to understand what she was asking for. What's wrong with swinging a bat?
なんでだよ。
Why?
余計なお世話だよ。
None of your business, is it?
別に誰にも迷惑かけてないだろ。
I'm not bothering anyone, am I?
かけてる。
You are. Yon said it flat out. It didn't make any sense that it was that, and it was really irritating.
俺がいつ誰に迷惑をかけたよ。
When did I bother anybody?
と。
Yon was lost for words, but she finally made up her mind and spoke. Though she stuttered as she said it.
だってさ、ケイちゃん、それ、人のバットだしさ。
Because, Kei-chan, that's someone else's bat.
無断借用は悪いし。
You shouldn't borrow it without permission.
転校した生徒の忘れ物だろ。
It was left by a student who transferred, right?
本人が取りに来るまで借りてるだけだよ。
I'm just borrowing it until he comes back for it.
あ
Oh,
あ、まあね。転
yeah.
校したし。
He transferred. Myung-gu uncharacteristically flustered. That made it all too clear that his transfer was a lie.
でも変わってるよな。
But strange, isn't it?
兄貴だけ転校なんだろ。
For the older brother to transfer by himself.
妹は転校しなかったんだろ。
While his little sister stayed behind. Myeon couldn't hide her reaction as my words shook her up.
ケイちゃん、知っ
Kei-chan,
てたの？
you knew?
北条聡。
Satoshi Hojo.
聡子の兄貴だろ。
Satoko's older brother, right?
去年、鬼隠しにあって消えた。
The one demoned away last year? Unable to respond to that, Myeon fell
レナ
silent.
にも言われた。
Ren asked me the same thing.
なんで素振りを始めたのかってな。
Why did you start swinging that bat?
サトシもやってたんだってな。
She told me that Satoshi did the same thing,
素振り。
practicing his swings
それも失踪の直前に。
right before he went missing.
これってさ、お社様のたたりに合う前兆ってわけなのか？
So, is this some kind of omen for Oshu-sama's curse? Shh. Myeon panicked and looked around.
頼むよ、ケイちゃん。お社様の話はうかつにしないでよ。
Please, Kei-chan, don't mention Oshu-sama so recklessly.
私はそんなに信じてないからいいけどさ、他のみんなはすごく信じてる。
I don't believe in him, but the others very much do.
レナなんかやばいくらいに。
Rena especially.
やばいくらいに？
Dangerously so.
とにかく、
Anyway,
みんな怖がってるんだよ。
you're scaring everyone.
もしもこれが悪ふざけならやめな。
If you're just fooling around, then stop it.
サトシの真似は絶対にやめて。
You have to stop acting like Satoshi. I was the one who was scared. Who do I have to thank for taking up this bet in the first place? But I still unsettled me knowing that my actions were overlapping with Satoshi's. It would be one thing if someone suggested it, but then I was making my own decisions.
先に言っとく。
I'll say this now.
俺はサトシのことは何も知らない。
I don't know anything about
みんな
Satoshi.
が隠してたからな。
After all, he didn't tell me anything about him.
隠してたってわけじゃ。
We didn't mean to hide it.
毎年起こる事件のこと隠してたろ。
You were hiding the incidents that happened every year, weren't you?
それは、ケイちゃんを。
That's because, we didn't want to,
怖がらせたくなかったってのか？
You didn't want to scare me?
それが理由で俺だけのけ者かよ。
That's your reason for leaving me out?
いや、そんなつもりじゃ。
No, we didn't mean to.
ミオンに直にダム現場で事件がなかったかって聞いたよな。
Mion, I asked you directly if something happened at the dam, didn't I?
ミオンはないって言ったじゃないか。
And you told me nothing happened.
バラバラ殺人があったのによ。
When someone was dismembered and murdered.
嘘つき野郎。
You lied to me.
ごめん。嘘ってわけじゃ。
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you.
仲間ってのは隠し事なんかなしだろ。
Friends don't hide things from each other, right?
そうだろ。
Isn't that right?
じゃあお前らは仲間じゃない。
Then you all aren't my friends.
ケイちゃん。そんなのって。
Kei-chan, Mion looked helpless and flustered. Was I imagining the tears in her eye? I could never imagine Mion acting like this.
ああ、それに先日の見舞いのおはぎ、あれうまかったぜ。
Oh,
血が出るかと思った。
oh, by the way, those get well mochis you brought me the other day, they were so good. I thought I was going to bleed.
やったのはどっちだ？
Who did it?
お前か？
You
レナか？
or Rena?
私。
Me. She admitted it so easily. I couldn't help but be surprised how easy that was.
死ぬかもしれなかったんだぞ。
You could have killed me.
仲間にあんな真似をするのかよ。
How could you do that to a friend?
そんな。ちょっとしたいたずらじゃん。
But it was just a little prank. That little prank could have cost someone's life. Never put things that are not meant to be eaten inside of things that are meant to be eaten. That's just not a good prank. That's attempted murder, not a prank. Mion gave me a worried smile mixed with confusion, causing even more anger to well up inside me.
あれがいたずらで済むかよ。
You think that was a prank? I grabbed Mion by the collar and lifted her up. That wasn't the same as putting Tabasco sauce in a piece of mochi. It was a needle, a sewing needle. If I had swallowed that and I lodged in my throat, and what she think would happen? Mion's face froze as her body rattled in fear. This wasn't Mion Shinozaki I knew
と
anymore.
にかく
Anyways,
お前は仲間じゃない。
you're not my friend.
仲間じゃない奴の指図は受ける言われはない。
There's no reason for me to listen to someone who's not my friend.
俺のことは当分放っておいてもらうぜ。
So just leave me alone for a while.
いいな。
Got it? Mion wasn't replying
俺を
anymore.
消そうとしても簡単にはいかないからな。
I won't be that easy to erase me, you know.
お前らは最初から警察に疑われてんだ。
The cops have been on you from the start.
サトシを消せたように簡単に消せると思うなよ。
So don't think you can make me disappear like you did Satoshi. I said it clearly. This was my declaration of war.
俺も過去の事件はお前らが怪しいと思ってる。
I think you guys are suspects in the previous incidents too.
ダムの反対運動の時からお前が警察の世話になってたこともよく知ってる。
I also know you've been spending a lot of time with the cops ever since the anti-dam movement.
隠しきれてると思うなよ。
Don't
いい
think,
な。
don't think you can hide it from me. Got it?
どうして。そんなことまで。
How did you know? Mion stood there with a dumbstruck look on her face. That's when I heard the principal ringing the bell for school. It was time for a morning homeroom.
行こうぜ。
Let's go.
委員長がいないとまずいだろ。
The class representative needs to be there, right?
ん？
Hmm? At that moment, for the first time, I realized Mion was sobbing and tears ran down her cheeks.
ひどいよ。ケイちゃん。
You're so mean, Kei-chan. Me. I wanted to console her, but I shut my mouth. I had no need to feel guilty.
俺行くぜ。
I'm going.
ホームルーム遅れるなよ。
Don't be late for homeroom. I left Mion, still shaking as I turned around to head to the entrance. Man, that's harsh. But it had to be said. I had no idea how troubling it was to make a girl cry. Behind my back, I could hear her mutter. It was a faint mutter as she was speaking to herself.
そっか。
So, that's how it is.
え
Hmm? She wasn't saying it to anyone. It was Mion talking to herself, but it was a sobbing voice, like a little giddy, cursed tone. I inadvertently stopped and turned back to her. Ah,
ケイちゃんに全部バラしたの。あの野郎か。
hi. That's some lovely eyes you got there. Yeah. Oh, it was that bastard. He leaked it all to Kei-chan. She balled her fist as tears continued to rain down. She glared at a spot on the ground with terrifying yet smiling face, cursing. A chill ran down my spine for that demonic expression. This transformation, Mion's transformation, was different from
あ
Rena's.
の時殺しとくんだったな。
I should have killed him back then.
今年で定年だからって容赦してやった恩も忘れやがって。
She forgot the mercy I showed him just because he was going to retire this year. Retiring this year. She was talking about Oshi-san.
ちくしょう
Dang it.
ちくしょう。
Dang it.
あのじじい
I'm going to kill
絶対に殺してやる。
that damn old man. Oh, geez. Oh. Okay, Mion. Just don't act too rash, okay? It felt like the air had begun to distorting. With Mion at the center, the world began to twist and spiral, bending, whirling. This was the first time I experienced such a Vishtish? Yeah. Man, Mion's going a little crazy now, too. Oh, she's back to normal for now. Rise! Attention! Mion made an excuse for her red eyes and saying that there was something wrong with her contacts. After that, neither Rena or Mion spoke to me for the rest of the day. Neither Satoko or Rika-chan looked at me in the eyes. Strangely, I didn't feel hurt. Everything just went back to the way it was. The month since I transferred in has almost been too much fun. That was all. School was supposed to be something like this to begin with. I should have disliked that feeling, but today it felt awfully refreshing. Oh. The bell rang, sounding the end of the monotonous school day, which felt so tense yet so dull. Since it would cause a lot of unpleasant memories if they asked me to join into the club activities, I promptly started prepping to go home without even looking at them. I stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag, wrapped my hands around Satoshi's now familiar back, and began heading towards the entrance. I was assaulted by both exhaustion, relief that nothing had happened today, and tiring possibility that something repeating tomorrow. But deep down inside me, or beneath the recesses of my heart, achingly, I knew this would be the last day of the cycle. I couldn't tell how the ending would be, whether it be the end as I wished for it to end, or it would end as I hoped it wouldn't. Regardless of my current state, there was something more important than how things would end. There is something I wanted to know. Why did I have to be killed? How did it come to this? Why? For what purpose? The sunlight was relentless. The sun, the heat, even the air. They wouldn't give me answers. Or could it be? The cries of the Higurashi were desperately trying to tell me something. Somewhere mixed in with their shrieks, Tomotaki-san and Satoshi were also probably trying to tell me something. Oh, hey, hi. Hi, Jensen, how you doing? Oh, it's okay, no problem. It's okay, you'll be here whenever you feel like it, yeah. Yeah, welcome. Oh, you were sick? Oh no, that's not good. Hopefully you're feeling better. But yeah, hopefully you're feeling better. Let's see, where were we? Oh, yeah, no problem. Let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, I simply haven't been able to realize that yet. When do I realize it? I wonder if it would be amongst the Higurashi, rootless crying to the next victim. Glancing down at my feet, I saw a Higurashi on his back, spasming weakly. Pew pew pew, pew pew. There is still much of the summer left, yet this one was already chirping its last song. I couldn't tell what it was saying, no matter how hard I listened. But I had to try. I had to try to listen to what it was desperately trying to tell me. Oh, poor little cicada, dying. At that moment, the shrills of the Higurashi ceased all at once. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, uh-oh, the ominous music. How's my day? Not too bad, not too bad. How was your day, besides being sick? Well, hopefully you're better, but yeah, how was your day? My day is okay. Not too bad. Alright, let's see. As if they had huddled together, fearing that the person who brought them to their dreadful fate has arrived. There was no mistaking it. A presence was approaching. The sound of footsteps was almost non-existent. If the Higurashi hadn't warned me by ending their chirping, I wouldn't have noticed. My exhaustion left me in a heartbeat. Its place was a rash of adrenaline that sharpened all my senses. But I was hurt. You didn't mess... Wait, but I was hurt that you didn't mess me for asking about myself as for what? What do you mean? But you were hurt that I didn't message you for asking about myself as a friend? What are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about the Discord? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If that's the case, I'm sorry. I was a little busy and I kind of forgot after a while. I'm sorry. I do apologize. But when I saw your message, it said you sent it at 9 and I was at work. And by that time when I saw it, it was already late. I already ended its stream, so I'm sorry. I started at around this time. I'm not sure what time zone you are, but my time zone is around 11:30. You sent it at 9, so I'm going to assume you're 2 hours ahead of me. So, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm just going to continue reading, but yeah, I do apologize. I'm sorry. Okay. My exhaustion let me in a heartbeat. In its place was a rash of adrenaline that sharpened all my senses. I was barely able to hold back that creeping, suffocating feeling of horror. No worries, I get it. Yeah, thank you. I do apologize, and I wasn't sure if I can. I'm sorry. But yeah, when I noticed it was I already finished streaming, and I noticed that you were off stream or not online. Yeah. It was something I couldn't hold back for so long. But in this moment, when I needed to be razor sharp, I was able to retain my composure. Oh, I wasn't going to shout like I did yesterday. I hid calmly amongst the trees, waiting for my pursuer's shadow. Could I get them to pass me by? No, since I wasn't able to hear their footsteps, they were probably also able to hear me. They might have already been able to tell that I hid myself and was holding my breath. The person telling me it was Rena, just like yesterday. If it was Rena, I wouldn't hold back. I could just yell at her and make her go ahead like yesterday. If it wasn't Rena, it would depend on how they acted, I guess. The footsteps ambered closely. I swallowed, wiped my clammy hands on my pants, readjusted the grip on the bat. I could tell that the fear that I had been back was now waiting for another opening to come at me. Who could it be? I peeked out from behind the trees at the person following me. It was Rena. What you holding? And what's with that creepy smile, Rena? I'm scared. My imagination hadn't led me astray. It was Rena. There was a bit of relief as I realized it was someone I knew, but that feeling left me in an instant. This wasn't the same Rena that I knew. Her eyes were dark and lifeless, but her mouth appeared as if it was carved into a crescent. Yes, it looked like she was grinning slightly. And in her right hand was a hatchet. Oh. Hopefully she's just gonna cut some trees, maybe? Yeah. I hid myself behind those trees once again and recalled the unbelievable sight I just saw. What was that just now? The embodiment of terror laid bare. Baseball practicing my swings. There was a ton of excuses for me to carry a bat, but for that hatchet, there was no excuse for that. A hatchet just like that.
ケイチくん、
Keiichi-kun,
かくれんぼかなかな
are you playing hide and seek? I wonder. My heart was pounding. Hard enough that I could hear it beating. Oh, I had trouble breathing. Yeah, I'm a bit scared. With little composure I had been able to hold on to was now crushed. Its place with cold sweat gushed forth, covering my entire body, letting me know precisely what kind of motions had taken. Not good. I wasn't able to hide myself completely. She already knew I was there.
レナを驚かせようとしたのかなかな
Were you trying to scare me? I wonder. No, Rena, definitely not. We're not trying to scare ya. I decided that it would be better to reveal myself now, since there is still space between us, than allow Rena to come any closer. I adjusted my grip on the bat again, readying myself mentally, then stepping out from behind the train. Ah.
ケイチくん、見つけた
I found you, Keiichi-kun. Rena was pleased that she found me. Elating a mysterious... a mysterious giggle. Her mouth was smiling, but her eyes told me that she was displeased by the fact that I had been hiding those eyes. They were just so empty. My legs began to quiver. Ugh, not good. In the pit of my stomach, some sort of vicious hot and cold substance began spreading around. If I allow it, the substance would slip into my bloodstream and undoubtedly freeze all the organs of my body. Not good. I'll be devoured by Rena at this rate. Strike back. Don't lose.
何の用だよ
What is it? I blurted out. Blustered, hiding behind my bravado. But Rena didn't flinch one
ケ
bit.
イチくんと同じ
Just the same as Keiichi-kun.
帰り道だよ
I'm heading home.
じゃあそのナタは何だよ
Then what about that hatchet?
じゃあケイチくんのそのバットは何なのかな
Then what about the bat you're holding?
俺は素振りで
I'm practicing my swings.
じゃあレナは宝探しなの
Then I'm treasure hunting. Rena gave a flippant explanation as to why she had some fearsome weapon.
宝探し
Treasure hunting?
ダム現場の宝の山にねまた新しいかわいいのを見つけたの
At the treasure mountain near the dam site, I found a new cute thing.
だからねそれを発掘するために必要なの
So I needed this to dig it out.
信じるかよそんなの
How can I believe that?
信じないよね
You wouldn't believe it, would you? Rena's laugh was so obviously very strange. I've seen Rena's transformation many times before, but the one today was completely different. Like her mischievous tone and a shrewd glint in her eyes. It wasn't something that roundabout. I'm not sure what to say. It was just so obvious.
待ってよ、ケイチくん。
Wait, Keiichi-kun. Oh. Rena didn't stop walking, even as she let out that eerie laugh. Whenever Rena got too close to me, I would scurry away, back towards her, the cycle repeating over and over. No matter how you looked at it, I was being chased by Rena, and was trying to escape.
ついてくるなよ
Don't follow me.
それはできない相談だよ。
I can't do that.
レナのうちもこっち
Yinzen
だもん。
underscore Orion is now
Oh,
lurking.
no problem, no
Thank
problem.
you
Thanks for the
the
lurk.
support.
Thank you for the lurk. Have a good lurk. Let's see, where are we? I can't do that. My house is that way after all. Hmm. Okay, Rena, now stop being creepy. When I met Rena on this road yesterday, she cowed and trembled as she followed my commands. But today was different. Rena didn't show any hint of trepidation. Actually, wasn't I the one who was cowering? Oh. And the way home for Rena and me was the same. That's fine. I just changed my route. That would work out, wouldn't it? I turned into a street side I've never been down and knew a little about. But Rena saw me do that and followed me while laughing. Why? Why? Aren't you going home? Then why just come down the street that you normally do? Why would you follow me down this weird little side road? Those thoughts screamed in my head, eventually spilling out of my mouth.
どうしてついてくるんだよ
Why are you following me? The tone of my voice was already tinged with terror.
ケイチくんとお話ししたいから。
Because I want to talk to Keiichi-kun.
ケイチくんもレナとお話ししたいんじゃないかな。
Keiichi-kun wants to talk to Rena too, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
俺は何も話したいことなんかない
I don't want to talk to you about anything with you.
嘘だよね。
That's a lie, isn't it?
相談したいこときっとあるはずだよ。
There's something that you wanted to ask me about, isn't there?
ない
Not at all.
レナと話すことなんか何もないよ
I have nothing to talk to you about.
嘘だよね。
That's a lie, isn't it?
嘘じゃないよ
It's not a lie.
嘘だ
Lies. Rena screamed, echoed, startling some of the nearby birds into flight. I cringed in fear. The only other thing I could do was increase my pace.
お話ししようよ、ケイチくん。
Let's talk, Keiichi-kun.
お話、
Talk,
お話。
talk. Okay, okay. Why was I running down this unfamiliar and deserted street?
ケイチくんには悩んでることがあるんじゃないかな。
Doesn't Keiji have something he's worried about?
ないよ
Nothing at all.
何も悩んでない
I'm not worried about anything.
嘘だ
Lies! Even though I was running, even though Rena was walking, why wasn't I getting any further
わ
away?
かるよ。わかる。
I know.
レナはわかるよ。
I really do know.
怖いんだよね、ケイチくん。
You're scared, aren't you, Keiichi-kun?
怖くなんかない
I'm not scared.
何も怖いことなんか
I'm not scared of anything.
嘘だ
Lies. My breathing grew heavily as I felt my legs were giving out from beneath me. Rena wasn't even breaking a
レ
sweat.
ナだけは相談に乗ってあげられるよ。
I'll listen.
今度こそ乗ってあげられる。
This time I'll listen. I had no idea what she was talking about or what exactly she wanted to do.
今度こそ相談に乗ってあげられる。
This time I'll listen.
サトシくんの時とは違うもの。
It would be different from the time with Satoshi-kun. When she said Satoshi's name, I turned back for a moment. But even as I did that, Brenna was still advancing. I couldn't afford to stop.
サトシ君も悩んでた。
Satoshi-kun was worried too.
辛そうだった。
It looked like he was having such a hard time.
でもレナは相談に乗ってあげられなかった。
But I didn't listen.
とても悲しかった。
I was so sad. Where did this street connect to? All these twists and turns, ups and downs. It was hard to believe that this was even remotely the direction towards my house. My sense of direction had long since gone out the window.
サトシ君が転校しちゃった時ね、本当に後悔したんだよ。
I really regret it when Satoshi-kun transferred out.
レナが相談に乗ってあげれば、サトシ君は転校せずに済んだかもしれないって。
I thought if I had listened, he might not have transferred out.
すごく後悔した。
I really regret that. Right. The road led me deeper into the forest. Wasn't I getting further away from the village the more I ran? I lost more and more of my composure the more I thought about it. But despite that realization, my inner self was still just stubbornly calm.
だからね、誓ったの。
So, you see, I vowed.
もしもサトシ君みたいに苦しんでる人にもう一度会えたなら、レナが助けてあげようって。
I felt that if there was someone starting like that,
するところは見たくないの。
like Satoshi-kun did, I'd save them. I don't want to see anyone else transfer out again. Damn it. What does transfer even mean? I won't let you transfer me. I won't end up the same as Satoshi.
さあ、ケイイチ君、レナに話して。
Come talk to me. Come on, Keiichi-kun. Talk to me.
レナはきっとケイイチ君を理解してあげられるよ。
I'll be able to understand you,
レ
Keiichi-kun.
ナだけはケイイチ君の味方。
I'm your ally. I started wheezing out of breath. My lungs were so hot they felt like they were going to explode, and my heart was beating as hard as I possibly could. I should have practiced swinging. I should practice running instead of my swinging. I couldn't afford to scoff at that stupid thought.
悩みがなくなれば、きっとケイイチ君も元通り。
If Keiichi-kun doesn't have anything to worry about, he'll go back to normal.
みんなとも仲良しに戻れて、また楽しく部活ができるよ。
Everyone will be back to being friends, and we can enjoy club activities again.
今度は一緒に組んで、みーちゃんをやっつけようね。
Next time we'll team up and beat up Mi-chan. Yeah, how much fun would that be? Rana couldn't even imagine how much I wished I could turn back the clock all these past few days.
レナともきっと仲良しに戻れるよ。
You could be nice to me again, too.
また一緒に宝探しに行きたいね。
I want to go searching for treasure again.
今度はお弁当も作っていくよ。
This time I'll prepare a nice lunch.
なんなら今から宝探しでもいいよ。
Actually, we could just go right now.
行こうよ、一緒にダム現場。
Let's go to the dam site together.
見つけたばかりの可愛いの、ケイイチ君にも見せてあげるね。
I'll show you the cute thing I just found.
きっとケイイチ君も気に入るよ。
I'm sure you like it too. Yeah. Okay. My footsteps made pathetic flopping sounds as my legs wobbled and flustered. Hot on my heels, Randall's steps were sharply breaking twigs underfoot. I had to accept it. Always on the run, being chased by Brenna. If she caught me, it was all over. I just realized it instinctively. I couldn't even begin to think of what on the end of the entrail. Just that if I was caught, it was all over. Then, that's all I knew. It didn't matter how it was going to end. I wouldn't let it end. Not without knowing anything. Not yet. That momentary lapse was all it took. All the things that could have happened. My knees buckled underneath me, and I crumbled towards the ground. I tried to stand frantically, urging my legs to respond. I used my bat as a makeshift crane to prop myself up, but Rena has already been standing in front of me. Nah. Compared to me, out of breath and utterly exhausted, Rena was so cool and composed that she could have frozen the air around her. She wasn't breathing hard at all. Rather, I couldn't sense if her heart was beating.
何が怖いのかな。
Are you afraid of something? I wonder.
怯えるなんてケイチくんらしくないよ。
It's not like you tremble, Keiji-kun. Her expression looked almost affectionate. Those soulless eyes, that mask of affection. I'm so ashamed for me trembling. Rena's hand deftly slipped over her head. The blur of an arm as they moved made me feel as if I was staring at a godliness of a thousand armed Buddha. Then both of her hands met over her head with a hatchet that she held came into focus. I stared up in disbelief. That's all I could do.
教えてくれ。
Tell me,
サトシはどうなったんだよ。
what happened to Satoshi? Rena stayed like that, with the hatchet raised above her head, and solemnly opened her mouth. It was as if she was expressing a farewell to a friend she was never to see again. That cruel scenario resided somewhere in her actions.
言ったよ。
I told you.
サトシくんは転校したの。
Satoshi-kun transferred out.
その転校ってのをやめろよ。
Enough of that transfer crap.
鬼隠しってことなんだろ。
That means stealing away, doesn't it?
そうだろ。
Doesn't it?
もう教えてくれたっていいだろ。
You can tell me now, can't you?
サトシを消したのは誰だよ。
Who made Satoshi disappear?
レナか。
Was it you?
ミオンか。
Mion?
それとも村の誰かが。
Or someone in the village?
答えろよ。
Answer me! I became frantic the more I screamed, but Rena did nothing but maintain the smile frozen on her face.
ケイチくんが何を言ってるかわからないな。
I have no idea what Keiji-kun is talking about.
じゃあ分かるように言ってやる。
Then I'll say it in the way you do.
連続開始事件の犯人は誰だ。
Who is the perpetrator of this chain of mysterious deaths?
ケイチくんは勘違いしてるよ。
You seem to be confused, Keiji-kun. Huh?
人間の犯人なんかいない。
There is no human
す
perpetrator.
べてはお社様が決めることだもの。
Everything is by Oshu-sama's will.
お社様のたたりなんて迷信だろ。
Isn't Oshu-sama's curse just a superstition?
レナは信じてるってのか。
You believe in that too?
信じるとか信じないとかじゃない。
It's not about believing or not.
お社様は
Oshu-sama
いるの。
exists. Period. Huh. Rena's gaze grew even more gilded. The ferocity of her stare was so intense, I'm not allowing me to question anything.
お社様なんているわけが。
There is just no way that something like Oshu-sama could exist.
ケイチくんは信じないの？
You don't believe him?
お社
Oh,
様。
you don't believe in Oshu-sama?
信じられるはずないだろ。
There's no way I could believe it.
そんなのいるわけがない。
There's no way it could exist.
いるよ。
It exists.
お社様。
Oshu-sama exists.
ケイチくんだって身近に感じてるはずだよ。
Keiji-kun should have felt it personally.
そんなもの感じたことないよ。
I never felt something like that.
ケイチくんさ、誰かに謝られたことない？
Keiji-kun, haven't you felt someone apologizing to you before?
それもずっと。
Constantly on top of that? Oh. All the noise from the outside world disappeared. Only Rena's voice resounded loudly and terribly.
それはね、許してもらえるまでずっとついてくるの。
You see, until you forgive them, they'll always be with you.
学校へも、
At school,
お家へも、
at home,
枕元へも。
at your bedside. I couldn't understand what Rena was saying.
レナのところへも来たんだよ。
It came to me too.
お社様。
Oshu-sama did.
だからレナは転校して、ひなみ沢に帰ってきたの。
That's why I transferred and came back to Hinamazawa. I don't understand. I don't understand. What does transfer even mean? What was Rena
圭
saying?
一くんのところにもお社様来
Hasn't
てるんじゃない？
Osho-sama came to you as well, Keiichi-kun?
きっと相談に乗れるのは私だけ。
I'm probably the only one you could confide in.
圭一くんを転校なんかさせないから。
I won't let you transfer out. Okay. Oh, okay. Rena's demented laughter clung around inside my head. Was Rena saying that Osho-sama came to her as well? That's right. Last night, I heard about that when I asked about Rena.
他言無用でお願いします。
Please keep this confidential.
また内容には一部憶測も含まれているかもしれません。
Also, part of this may be speculation.
全てが真実ではないかもしれないということです。
Not all of it may be true.
よろしいですね。
Are you still interested? Arshio-san began speaking.
被害者も学校も告訴していないので、調書がないのです。
Neither the victims nor the school filed complaint. There is no preliminary
つま
report.
り警察が関与してないわけなんですよ。
Basically, the police hasn't intervened in this matter.
ですから詳細は関係者からの聞き取りのみなのです。
So all of the details are what I've heard from those
つま
involved.
り信憑性が高くない。
Meaning it's not that credible.
被害者って言いましたか？
You said there was victims?
レナはガラスを割っただけじゃないんですか？
Didn't Rena just break all the windows?
いえ、男子生徒が3人ほどリュウグウレナに殴られています。
No, Rena Riguyu had attacked 3 boys
金属バットでです。
using a metal bat.
2人はあざで済みましたが、1人は片目に後遺症を残すほどの大怪我をしたそうです。
2 of them made it out with only bruises, but the other began injured so badly that one of his eyes was permanently damaged.
それって傷害事件じゃないんですか？
Wouldn't that be considered assault?
警察は逮捕とかしないんですか？
Shouldn't the police have arrested her?
どういうわけか、被害者が告発しないんですよ。
For whatever reason, the victims never pressed charges.
警察に届け出がないので、
There was no report to the police, so they were beaten with a bat and suffered significant injuries. Normally, there would be a criminal investigation, but why didn't they press charges?
被害者の男子生徒3人にもそれぞれ話を聞こうとしましたが、全員口が重いんです。
I tried asking the 3 male victims for their side of the story, but they were all reluctant.
こう言ってはなんですが、怯えてるんですよ。
It's hard to say, but they were all afraid.
彼女が転校した今でも。
Even after she transferred schools.
大石さ
Oshi-san,
ん、話を最初から整理して話してくれませんか？
could you summarize it starting from the beginning? Rena hit people while she broke the windows? Or was it she started breaking windows after she got bored of hitting people? They sound familiar, but the meaning were drastically different. Dang.
某月某日、
On an undisclosed date,
リュウグウレナは親しい男子生徒3人と一緒にプール倉庫のあたりで話をしていました。
Rena Riguyu was conversing with the 3 male students, close friends of hers, near the pool storage shed.
その3人って何者ですか？
Who are those 3?
個人名は伏せますが、3人ともリュウグウレナととても親しい仲良しグループだったそうです。
I can't reveal their names, but they were close to Rena Riguyu. It seems they were a group of friends.
彼女はこう言ってんだったんですな。
She was the lone girl in their group. So it wasn't that strange that 4 of them were together.
それでどうなったんです？
So, what happened?
理由はわかりません。
I don't know the reason why.
リュウグウレナはプール倉庫脇にあった野球部のバットを手に取り、3人を次々に殴り倒しました。
She took the baseball team's bat that was in the pool storage shed and beat the 3 of them down one after another. What? There was no witnesses? This was an account pieced together by the information given at the time of the incident? On day after school? Ren and 3 male students were at the pool storage shed talking together. They weren't seeking help, rather, they usually meet up there. It appears to become a heated discussion. At this time, Rena underwent a change. That change was so abrupt that the 3 of them didn't comprehend what was happening. Oh. Then, taking the metal bat, she attacked her friends one after another. Oh, blood. Leaving her friends covered in blood and with gashes on their head, she made her way towards the school building. And then she started breaking windows. Jeez. Then she broke the glass windows one after another. A few moments later, a teacher appeared on the scene and subdued her.
レナに起こった変化って何ですか？
What was the change Rena underwent?
3人の証言で一致するのは、突然人が変わった。
What matches up in the statement from the 3 was a sudden change.
表変したという点です。
A point where there was a transformation.
表変。
Transformation? I also recall Rena's transformation. I've seen that change in many times before, so it was different from the usual Rena that I couldn't help but believe it was someone else who looked like Rena.
その表変っていうのはたびたびあったことなんですか？
That transformation they're talking about, it happened before?
いえ、そういうのは全くなかったそうです。
No, there was nothing like that.
私も調べられる限り、彼女の過去や病歴等を追ってみましたが、見つけることはできませんでした。
As far as I could find out, in her medical history in the past, there was nothing like that.
そのレナみたいに突然人が変わる現象って結構あるんですか？
Does that happen often? Where people change something like Rena did?
もちろんありますよ。
Of course it does.
精神的なものから性格的なものまでたくさんあります。
There are plenty of psychological phenomena that could cause something like that.
ではレナには潜在的に表変する要素があったってことですか？
Then you're saying there was a dormant element in Rena that caused that transformation?
断言はできません。
I cannot say for
で
certain.
すが、リュウグウ・レナをよく知る友人たちからの証言では、とても彼女にそういう要素があるようには思えません。
But according to the statement of her friends, it's hard to believe she had such a side to her. Kind, caring, and adorable. Even before she transferred here, she was probably pretty popular in school, like she was now. That girl transforming suddenly and assaulting them with a bat. Who could imagine such a thing? Nobody could have seen it coming. I, myself, sometimes believe that I was mistaken for thinking that Rena, even now.
そしてどうなったんですか？
Then, what happened after that?
学校の正面が病院でしたので、3人はすぐに病院に担ぎ込まれ、手当てを受けました。
There was a hospital right across from the school, so the 3 of them were carried in and treated quickly. Oh, that's pretty convenient.
レナは
What about Rena?
警察は
What about the police?
どうして警察沙汰にならなかったんですか？
Why wasn't there a criminal investigation?
警察は呼ばれなければ関与はできませんからね。
You see, the police can't get involved unless they're called.
一人は後遺症を残すくらい大怪我したんじゃないんですか？
Even if one of them was badly injured with permanent damage?
どうして訴えないんです？
Why didn't they file charges?
私もそこは引っかかりました。
That's what caught my attention as well.
何かの圧力、もしくは脅迫があったのか。
Either someone threatened or pressure was placed on them.
それとも訴えたくても訴えられない理由があったのか。
Or they had a reason they couldn't file charges even if they wanted to.
もちろん大石さんのことですから調べたんですよね。
We're talking about you after all. Of course you looked into it, didn't you?
ねえ、まあ。
Well, yeah.
ですが、初めに言いましたよね。
But I told you at the beginning, didn't I?
被害者たちの口がとにかく重いのです。
The victims were all very reluctant to talk.
触れたがらないというか、関わりたくないというか。
They didn't want to touch on the matter, or rather, they didn't want to be involved. Reluctant to talk, didn't want to touch it, didn't want to be involved. It resembled the villagers here and Orshu-sama's curse.
学校の先生とかからは何も聞けなかったんですか？
Did the teachers at the school tell you anything?
学校は聖域なんですよ。
A school is hallowed
隠
ground.
蔽体質とでも言いますか。
You can say they tend to keep scandals under wraps.
私も捜査令状を取ってませんから弱いんですよね。
A school is hallowed on wraps. I didn't have a search warrant, so I had to tread lightly, you see.
じゃあ学校側はノーコメント？
Then there is no comment from school?
いえ、
No.
事件の存在自体を否定しました。
They denied the incident ever happened. Oh,
ですが某日、
it's just
間違いなく病院に3人の男子生徒が打撲で担ぎ込まれたのは事実なんです。
3 male students were carried in for blunt force trauma that day.
病院にその記録が残ってますので。
That's all there was of the hospital records.
被害者は語らず学校は否定する。
The victims didn't speak. The school denied it happened.
何もわからないじゃないですか。
Then you don't know anything at all.
ねえ、
Yeah.
その事件があったという事実以上のことは何もわかりません。
I know nothing other than the incident itself had taken place.
被害者たちもこの事件が公になることを望んでいませんので、私と前原さん、
The victims
私たち2人が忘れれば、事件はそのまま闇に消えるでしょうな。
The victims also wished that this incident to be kept from the public. So if you and I forget about it, Marble-san, this incident will probably just fade away. For a brief period, we sat in silence. At first glance, it looked like a simple assault case. But that was rather just a tip of the iceberg. The depths were obscured by rolling waves, sinking quietly into the void, as if it never existed to begin with.
その後、学校を謹慎で休学します。
After that, she was suspended by the school.
そしてその間、神経科医のカウンセリングを受けました。
Dang you bots. But luckily, CherryBon got it. I really hate those bots. Really annoying. I don't need your cheap viewers. I don't need them. Okay, anyway. After that, she was suspended by the school, and during that time, she underwent psychotic counseling.
その医者からは何か聞けたんですか？
Did you hear anything from that doctor?
これがまた職業倫理のしっかりした尊敬すべき方でしてね。
Again, they're very professional in regards to their ethics.
口が硬いんですよ。もうとにかく。
Or at least very tight-lipped.
警察手帳を見せてもダメなんですか？
Nothing even after you show them your badge?
書面で申請しろと言われました。
I was told to get a warrant.
手帳自体に法的拘束力は何もありませんからね。
The badge itself has no legally binding authority after all.
じゃあ大石さんはどうやってレナがお社様のことを告白したことを知ったんですか？
Then how did you know that Rena confessed that it was Orsho-sama who did it?
一部を聞いてた看護師さんがいましてね。
There was a nurse I asked in the
こ
department.
の方は手帳を見せただけで協力してくださいました。
She agreed to help me just from the showing her my badge.
それでなんと？
Then what did she say? Turns out the nurse hadn't heard everything. Apparently all that she remembered was that she overheard them from inside the room.
看護師さんが言うには、その時の竜宮レナはとても淡々としていて落ち着いていたそうです。
The nurse said that at the time, Rena Riguyu was very calm and mild-mannered. It was more like she was confessing her sins at church than in counseling session. She spoke to her mother. There was some sense of it, but partway through, her mother was asked to leave, so it became a private counseling session between just Doctor and Rena for a while.
例のお社様の話はどこで出てきたんですか？
Part where Orshu-sama, when did that pop up?
途中です。
Partway through,
その名前を突然叫んだのです。
she screamed the name suddenly.
だから看護師さんもびっくりして聞き耳を立てたのです。
That startled the nurse, and that's why she started listening in. Oh. Interesting. It was Oshio-sama. Rena suddenly shouted that. I had no idea what was said before that, so I had no idea that what the meaning behind it would even be. The doctor calmly and collectedly asked Rena to have a seat.
そのお社様というのは何ですか?
What is this Osho-sama you speak of? Gently, ever so gently. A fundamental part of counseling is to be a good, patient listener.
ひなみ沢を捨てた人は必ずお社様に追われるんです。
Whoever abounds in Hinamazawa will be hunted down by Osho-sama.
そしてとうとう私のところにも来たんです。
And it's finally gotten to me.
竜宮さんが今のお家に引っ越される前に住んでいた町ですね。
That's the town you live in before you moved here, isn't that right, Ringu-san?
私は引っ越したくなかったけど、お母さんとお父さんの都合で仕方なく引っ越しました。
I didn't want to move, but because of my mom and dad's circumstances, we had to.
お社様は許してくれなかったんです。
But Osho-sama wouldn't allow it.
竜宮さんはきっとひなみ沢にもお友達がたくさんいたんでしょうね。
Ryuyu-san, you must have lots of friends in Hinamazawa.
今でも懐かしいんじゃないですか?
Even now, you must be missing them dearly, don't you think?
帰りたい。
I want to go back.
ひなみ沢に帰りたい。
Back to Hinamazawa.
帰りたいんじゃない。帰らなきゃいけない。
No, it's not that I want to go back. I have to go back.
本当はもっと早くに帰らなきゃいけなかった。
I should have gone back much sooner.
でももうダメ。
But now it's too late.
お社様が来てしまった。
Osho-sama has come.
お社様というのはそのひなみ沢の神様なんですね。
Osho-sama is the name of the god in Hinamazawa, is that right?
誰でも知ってるひなみ沢の守り神様なんです。
Everyone knows it's Hinamazawa's guardian deity.
それでひなみ沢を捨てて出て行こうとすると罰を当てるんです。
And if you ever try abandoning Hinamazawa by leaving, you'll incur its wrath.
竜宮さんが引っ越しをされたのはもうずいぶん前ですよね。
You moved quite a while ago, didn't you?
では今になってその神様がやってきた
Then
ということですか?
then it was just now that this god has arrived, is what you're saying.
信じないでしょうけどお社様はいるんです。
You might not believe me, but Osho-sama exists. That nurse was then asked by another nurse to do something, and then left the room. That's all that she remembered.
お社様がか。
And that was Osho-sama's doing, right?
確かにひなみ沢にはそういう迷信があります。
I do believe that this is a kind of superstition in Hinamazawa.
砂糖を捨てて出ていくとお社様の罰が当たる。
That if you leave the village, then you'll incur Osho-sama's wrath.
この辺りは前原さんもすでにご存知ですよね。
You should be familiar with this part, Barbara-san. I knew it very well. What those scorned by the village incurred. To hinder that damn construction project, they cursed the construction's foreman to his death. Then, the following year, Satoko's parents, supporter, and leading advocates for the dam were cursed to their deaths. But this was the first time I've heard that the curse incurred by leaving the village.
初耳です。
This is my first time hearing that.
村の外敵がたたられるのはわかりますが、どうして出ていく村人まで。
I can understand outside threats being cursed by the village, but also villagers who leave?
普通出ていくものはたたられないものじゃないんですか?
Normally people who leave the village aren't supposed to be cursed, right? I know it's a bit strange to say it, but I could see it was a rule that the people who come in are the ones who would be cursed. Far from Jupiter, far from his thunder. Curses weren't something to chase after people that leave, were they? Oshi-san pondered for a bit over on the other end of the receiver, then began speaking again.
ひなみ沢が大昔鬼ヶ淵と呼ばれていたという話はしましたよね。
Well, I told you long ago when Hinamazawa was called Onikakushi, didn't I? I recall hearing that. Long ago, Hinamazawa was feared and respected as the village of demons.
ふもとの村人たちは鬼たちを崇めていました。
The villagers at the foot of the mountain worshipped the demons.
で、鬼ヶ淵は神聖な土地なので絶対に不可侵。
Onikakushi was hallowed grounds that you could never enter.
むやみに立ち入るとお社様のたたりがある。
It came to
と
be
されてき
said
たんです。
that if you entered carelessly, you were cursed by Oshi-sama. Those who set foot in Onikakushi, in other words, Hinamazawa, would be cursed. I can understand that.
それはわかります。
I know that.
でも出ていくのまでダメってのは
But for leaving to also be no good, that's
鬼たちもまたですね。
also the demons you see.
属性に出ていかないよう、お社様に厳しく見張られていたんだとか。
They were being strictly watched by Osho-sama, so they would not enter into our
つま
world.
り、お社様っていうのは、属性と鬼ヶ淵の交流を禁じていたんでしょうな。
In other words, Osho-sama probably restricted interaction between Onikakushi, Onikakushi, and the rest of the world. I see. I finally understand what sort of things that Osho-sama was.
つまりお社様ってのは守り神ってよりも監視者なんですね。
So basically, Osho-sama is more like a warden than a protective deity, I guess.
この地を外界から隔離しようとする。
Trying to actually keep this place isolated from the rest of the world?
そんな感じになるんでしょうな。
I guess that's how it would seem.
すみません。私も詳しくないんです。
I'm sorry, I don't know very much myself.
この辺りはばあ様の受け売りでして。
This was mostly what was passed on to me from my mother. I could understand it a bit better if it was like that. Those who came to Hinamazawa would be cursed, and those who tried to leave would also be cursed. So, because Rena originally lived in Hinamazawa and moved away, she fulfilled the requirement for being cursed.
つまりレナは望まない引っ越しをしたためお社様のたたりにあったとそう話しているわけですか。
So that means Rena moved away against its wishes? She was cursed by Osho-sama. Is that what it adds up to?
要約するとそういう意味なんでしょうな。
In short, that seems to be what points to, I guess.
実際この後しばらくしてひなみ沢に引っ越していますから。
As a matter of fact, soon afterwards they did move back to Himazawa after all. Those who abandoned Himazawa and left were cursed. But then, why only Rena? Shouldn't Rena's parents have also been guilty of the same transgressions by moving away and have been cursed? Also, in this day and age in Japan, shouldn't there be a lot of people coming and going? If every single one of them was cursed, that would be insane. But in reality, it wasn't that big of a deal at all. At most, there would be one person dying and disappearing on the day of the Onikakushi. I didn't like at most, though.
まあとにかく
Well, anyway,
わからないことだらけなんですよ。
there's still a lot I don't know.
お社様のたたりがどうだったにせよ、クラスメートを金属バットで殴った理由にはなりませんし、
Even
被害
if,
者が訴えない理由にもなりません。
even if it was Osho-sama's cursed, it doesn't explain Rena beating her classmates with a metal bat, or why the victims wouldn't press
ま
charges.
さか前原さんも恐ろしいたたりが起こって被害者たちがすくみ上がったなんてこと信じるわけないですよね。
You don't think the victims were cowering because they believed that a terrible curse had been following them, do you? Oh, maybe. That might have been. Of course I didn't want to believe it. But more importantly, I had just realized something else. There was another bizarre connection that Rena made between Osho-sama curse and metal bats. Satoshi fell victim to Osho-sama's curse and went missing. I had recently learned that Satoshi had also become infatuated with a metal bat right before he disappeared, just like me. Then Rena as well. She was afflicted by Osho-sama's curse. She confessed that much to the doctor. And the weapon which she had used at the time of that horrendous act was again a metal bat. Oh, don't tell me he's going to be afflicted with the curse now. And finally, me. I've encountered various things that were inexplicable, or exploitable? Exploitable? I don't know. And now I was holding onto a metal bat. I was shocked when I learned that Satoshi did the same thing. It couldn't be. Had the same thing happened to Rena? But there is one critical difference between her and Satoshi's case. That being Satoshi went missing after falling victim to the curse, but Rena was still here. Both of them had fallen victim to Osho-sama's curse, yet they were met with the different endings. And finally, me. I couldn't call it a coincidence anymore. Rena, Satoshi, and finally, me. Could it be that I was under Osho-sama's curse right now? No. More importantly than that, what should I do now? Satoshi has been demoted away, vanished without a trace. Rena was fine. Fine? Rena had undergone a change. I could only believe that there was something that wasn't Rena's residing within her. And here right now, it was standing before me. Oh, hi again.
教えてくれ。
Rena, please tell me
俺はどうなるんだよ。
what will happen to me. Rena stood imposingly, not answering.
サトシは消えた。
Satoshi disappeared,
だけどレナは消えなかった。
but Rena didn't disappear.
じゃあ俺はどうなるんだよ。
So, what will happen to me? Okay. I never heard such an unpleasant laugh before. It became akin to the sound of her breathing. It was no longer a voice or an expression of feeling.
大丈夫だよ。
Don't worry,
レナが助けてあげるから。
I'll save you. Rena took one step forward, still holding the hatchet above her head.
さあ、
Now then. One step closer, Rena's face spread out in my field of vision.
話して。
Speak. One step closer. Rena's nose was close enough to touch mine, and was still pushing closer.
話したいことがあるんだよね。レナが聞いてあげる。
There's something that you want to say, isn't there? I'll listen.
助けてあげるから。ね、
I'll save you. Okay?
話してね。
Speak. Okay?
話してね。
Speak. Okay? I slumped down, landing squarely on my butt. It wasn't for some pathetic reason. It was all I could do to get away from Rena. Oh. That's a very big laugh. I had the gut feeling that I couldn't let her laugh end, because when that laugh ended, the moment I picked up on that feeling, my body moved on instinct. I sprung to my feet so fast I couldn't believe it, and pushed Rena away with both hands. Rena was so light as a feather. Thrown about by the unbalanced weight of her hatchet, she was sent backwards as if she was being carried off by the wind. After confirming that out of the corner of my eye, I dashed off at full speed. I was the perfect picture of fleeing like a greased pig. Get away from me, Rena. Run away. Survive. I couldn't think of anything other than this. While I was running, I remembered I'd been holding onto the bat the entire time. Such a worthless weapon. I couldn't believe I forgot about this weapon at such an important time. I sped even further down the winding path. I didn't even feel myself gasping for breath, or my legs getting heavy. My body understood it as well. If I don't run away from here, I wouldn't live. I could hear her laughing of that sacrilum of Rena coming behind me. It rang through the trees in my head, slowly chiseled away at my sanity. Oh hey, we're at the dam site. The grove of the trees thinned and my field of vision suddenly expanded. Where was this? For a moment I was bewildered by the scenery. I knew it couldn't be quite remember. I quickly realized it was a dam site. The fact that I dashed badly ended up in a place like this gave me a bad feeling, like I was following someone's stripped up plot. I had a good view of my surroundings, but it didn't see a single soul here. This was a terrible spot for me to run, but there was no better place for an attacker. My heart was already on the verge of bursting. The muscles in my legs were screaming, but I didn't care. If I stop here, then they might not even be able to scream for much longer. Even still, I glanced back looking for an excuse to rest. Rena wasn't there. Instead, I saw 2 villagers walking around. I breathed a sigh of relief that it wasn't Rena, but a third party. Except the voice inside me rang the alarm once again. Villagers walking around weren't suspicious in and of themselves, but it bothered me. They both wore rough-looking clothes. Empty-handed, they definitely gave the impression that they were just out for a walk. But at the time of day, 2 adults wandering around without a purpose, it was enough to raise questions. Why? But more than anything else, those eyes. They weren't chit-chatting while walking. They were both silent, heading forward, looking in my direction. Was I at the end of my ropes? Have I finally started imagining things? I should run away. That was probably the best choice. If they weren't involved, I'd lose them easily by running. If they were part of the group after me, then they would come running after me. Either way, unless I hurried, Rena would catch up with me. That's right, I gotta run. Deciding that, the moment I began turning tail, both of them rushed towards me, as if they knew exactly what I was thinking. Oh no. Somewhere inside me, I just jumped to the conclusion that Rena was the only thing I needed to be afraid of. I made the assumption that I didn't need to fear anything else. But right now, I realized that just how blatantly wrong I was. Suddenly the story Oshi-san told me about the demons and all leaving the village to hunt prey floated through my back of my mind. I could tell you they're both coming after me without even turning around because of their frantic footsteps. It was frightening being unable to shake off Rena as slowly closed in on me, but this didn't compare. Being pursued with such violent ferocity, this straightforward horror was unparalleled. One of the pursuer's arm grazed my shoulder. Now, it wasn't their frenzied footsteps, but also their distant sounds of their breathing that I could hear. No, I couldn't practically feel them breathing on me. They were already right behind me. Calm down, Kichimabara. Still running at full tilt, I felt the surrounding area go still. No, it felt like time itself had stopped. I turned my head back slightly in that frozen world, realizing how close my pursuers had gotten to me. I couldn't win against the legs of an adult. In less than time it would take to blink twice. When this frozen time began moving again, they'd be right on top of me. And then, don't think about it, Keiichi. First, realize that you won't be able to shake them off like this. In fact, that you couldn't get away was a given. Then you need to make a decision. Go with the right leg or the left. You need to decide which one. Let's go with the left. The moment I decided that, the temporal singer lady burst into pieces. Right. Left. I swung the bat in a wide arc with my right arm. Using the inertia, I stopped and suddenly spun.
No!
The 2 of them were clearly startled, momentarily losing sight of me, both of their outreached arms ready to grab me, instead grasping at empty space. The man on the right, I applaud him for being able to figure it out, spun around to the spot I should have been, and faced me astonishment. But it was too late. I didn't even need to swing my bat. All I needed to do was extend my arms as I turned around. It was by no means a heavy blow, but it seems like it was enough power behind it to knock him off his feet. Oh, okay. But just knocking him down wasn't enough to scare him away. He got right back up in no time. Both of them took fighting stance and were ready to face me. This made me certain they weren't just 2 people out for a walk. They were clearly after me. It felt much easier than dealing with Rena, but not recognizing their face, but not knowing them, it made things easier. I smiled weirdly inside. What do you want with me? Next one's gonna be right in your face, you bee. It's fine. It was just all bluff. But barking at them, I was able to fire myself up. They didn't respond. They spread out to either side of me, unbelievably calm expression on their faces. One of them would grab onto my bat and the other would hold me down. Was that their plan? Taking on both of them at once would be impossible. Hot sweat poured from every pore in my body. Then I just have to settle it with the first move. I step in, strike the first one down. Narrowing my target down to the man on the right, who had already been knocked down before, I stepped in, swung with all my might. There is no reason, no way for an unarmed person to guard against it. It would be cause immense damage. If they blocked it with their arm, their bone would snap like a twig. If they turned their back to it, then it would be possible that the blow would travel all the way to their vital organs. It looked like they were aware of this. He pushed further through the kill zone between us, delivered a fist right into my gut. Not good. With this distance, in this position, and in this state, there is no way for me to dodge it. The world flipped upside down. I understood. I was being tossed around like a rag doll. I landed in the soft earth without a sound, feeling the grainy soil pressed against my face. It didn't hurt at all. But the moment I thought that, I suddenly felt pain coming from the abrasions on my skin, as well as the content of my stomach being forced upwards, flooding my mouth with a bitter sensation. I knew very well that I didn't have time to relish this experience. I stood up as quickly as I could, but at that moment the other man was already barreling towards me. Being able to comprehend calmly that I simply couldn't dodge it made it all the more upsetting. After plowing my stomach in full force once again, my assailant twisted around behind me and locked his thick arm around my neck. My throat felt like it was being crushed by immense strength. I couldn't even contemplate that I was being strangled or that I was about to go unconscious. My vision simply darkened and a silent, whining noise began playing deep inside my mind. It took everything I had to keep myself from blacking out. While this was happening, the other man was likely standing in front of me. I wasn't able to open my eyes, but I felt that he was there. There was nothing I could do now. Unable to shake this arm off me, I couldn't run. I couldn't fight back. Dire straight, I couldn't even come up with a phrase that adequately described my situation. Oh, jeez. Hopefully Keiichi's okay. Well, midway point. No, I'm gonna take a quick drink of water, so I'll be right back. Alright. Familiar ceiling. The smell of the pillow, bed and pillow, I knew them well. This was my room. Normally there wouldn't be anyone in my room besides me, but their presence made me spring wide awake. When I did that, pain shot through my entire body.
大丈夫かな？
Feeling alright?
横になってた方がいいと思うよ。
I think you better lie down for a bit. I was running in my room. Blood began to surge through my muscles and my capillaries. But Rena's smile belonged to the Rena I knew well. I knew I shouldn't let myself feel this way, but I relaxed thinking that this version of Rena was safe.
俺は
Moonmist, it's
Do
time
stay.
for bed.
Oh, it's
Rest
already-
well and recharge
Wow,
for
it's already
more
1 o'clock.
magical
Dang.
adventures tomorrow.
Yep, that's what
Your
Yep.
well-being
Mhm.
is important, so
I know.
sleep tight
Thank
and
you,
dream
Yep.
sweetly of our enchanting journey together. Good night.
Good night, Maple. I'll try to see if I can go to bed soon. But this chapter is really long. I've already been almost an hour and a half. Dang. Why am I?
覚えてないの？
Don't you remember?
意識がなくなってからのことは全然。
After losing consciousness, nothing at all. Sorry, my kitty wants a hip pad. My body's become more lethargic than I could ever have imagined. I guess that would be expected outcome after exerting everything I had back there. I tried to at least clear my mind, but I couldn't shake the sluggish feeling out of my mind.
一応お医者さんにも電話したから、
I called the doctor.
もうすぐ来ると思うよ。
He should be here soon.
それまで横になってた方がいいと思うな。
I think you'd be better just to lie down until then. I wasn't injured seriously enough to merit calling a doctor, but knowing that someone impartial was coming was slightly reassuring.
俺どうしてここにいるんだ？
Why am I here?
確かダム現場で。
I'm sure I was at the dam site.
それはレナが聞きたいな。
That's what I want to know.
何があったのかな。
What happened?
レナが行った時にはケイチくん倒れてて。
When I got there, Keiichi-kun was already passed out.
だから聞きたいのは俺の方だよ。
That's why I'm the one who wants to know.
変な二人組に襲われて。
I was attacked by two weirdos. As I talk about it, I finally remembered what happened right before I passed out. Recalling that memory, the terror that went along with it, caused a fogginess around my mind to clear right up. Let's forget about those two for now. I didn't expect Rena to be nursing me. I thought Rena was trying to kill me. She would have had the perfect chance while I was unconscious. Not only did she not kill me, she had nursed me back to health.
よく俺を引きずってここまで来れたな。
Amazing that you could drag me all the way back here.
重かったろ。
Wasn't I heavy? Looking at Rena's dejected frame, or delicate frame, it was hard to believe she was the one who... She had not only got me back home, but even dragged me all the way up to the second floor. Did she have some help?
ケイチくん、覚えてないの？
Don't you remember, Keiichi-kun? Rena appeared a bit surprised, but she kept her smile.
レナはケイチくんに肩を貸しただけだよ。
I only propped you up onto my shoulder.
大丈夫、自分で歩けるってケイチくんが。
You said that you can walk on your own and that you're fine.
覚えてない？
You don't remember? I don't remember. My memory was fuzzy after the point where I lost consciousness.
二人組はどうした？
What about those two? Huh?
レナが来た時、俺と一緒に、あるいはそばに二人組の男が。
When you got there, Rena, the ones with me, or rather, those two guys.
いなかったよ。
There wasn't anyone. She said it bluntly. The way she stated it felt suddenly unpleasant. I was just too timid at the time. I might have been able to force some answer out of Rena. But if I did that, then this kind Rena might transform into the scary Rena who I didn't know. Fearing that, I didn't press further. Thinking about it, it was an obvious choice. If both of those men were there, I don't think Rena would have stood a chance. If I couldn't find a way to explain it unless I assume she brought me here after those two were already gone. Rena was still smiling. Her eyes sparkled warmly. Yet, I felt like I was hallucinating when I saw something akin to a shadow slowly creeping across her face. The small omen sent shivers down my spine. While Rena was still Rena, I needed to make contact. I need to contact Orsho-san. Rena stopped me when I tried to get out of bed. She said it would aggravate my wounds, so I should sleep.
トイレに行きたいんだけどな。
I like to go to the bathroom, though.
ごめん。
Sorry. Oops, wrong button. Rena couldn't say anything else. Oh my. When Rena stayed in the room, I quickly went downstairs to get the phone receiver in the living room. Bang bong. When I approached the front door, the doorbell rang. Ding dong. It must have been the doctor Rena had called. It was strange for a patient to welcome in the doctor who was making a house call. But it would be incredibly reassuring to have him here for the considerable time it would take Orsho-san to get here. I carelessly opened the door with a simple assumption and regretted it almost instantly. Mion. Mion.
あれ元気そうだね。
Oh, you look just fine.
倒れてたって言うから様子見に来たんだけど。
I heard you collapsed, so I came on check up on you.
なんで俺が倒れてたって知ってるんだよ。
How did you know I collapsed?
レナが電話してきたから。
I heard Rena over the phone.
他に理由が必要。
Didn't I need any other reason for that? I understood why she would call the doctor, but why Mion too? Rena was descending the stairs behind me.
レナ、ケイちゃん大丈夫そうだよ。
Rena, doesn't Keiichi look pretty alright?
たく、心配して損した。
She made me worry for nothing.
そうだね。
That's true.
レナも心配して損したかな。
Maybe I worried for nothing as well. They both began laughing. It appeared to be cheerful laughter, but I couldn't shake the feeling that there were a darkness looming over them.
うわ、なにこの下駄箱。
Whoa, what's with the shoe rack?
どうしてたの？
How did it get like this? The shoe rack that I smashed into pieces had been like this since yesterday.
転んでさ、
I fell, you see.
その拍子に持ってたバットで叩いちゃったんだよ。
And the bat I was holding at the time slammed into it.
持ち慣れないもん振り回してるからこういうことになるんだよ。
That's what happens when you swing around something you're not used to handling. I kept the fact that I was none of her business to myself.
でもこれじゃおばさまたちが帰ってきたらびっくりしちゃうね。
But leaving it like this would really startle your parents when they get home.
後でレナが片付けておくね。
I'll fix it up for you later.
さあ、ほらケイちゃん。
Now, come on,
重
Keiichi-chan.
病人なんだからちゃんと寝てないとダメだよ。
The terminally ill need their rest.
さあさあ、お布団に戻った。
Come on, back to bed now, back to bed. Oh, back in bed. Both of them urged me to the stairs. I had no chance to call Oshi-san. I was pushed into bed, and as if it was the first time Mion had been in my room, she began searching around intently. She filled around my room and was scolded by Rena. You can imagine how it went. It was uncomfortable having my room poked around, but the conversation was so benign that it was heartwarming. During the incident conversation, Mion said something as though it was perfectly ordinary.
レナ、
Rena,
監督には電話した？
did you call the director?
うん。
Director? Why would they need a director? That was what she called a doctor. Okay. Yep.
みーちゃんに電話した後すぐにね。
Right after I called Mi-chan.
すぐ来るって言ってたよ。
He said he'll be right over. Director? Exactly. What does she mean by director? I thought it was a doctor that was supposed to be coming here. That out-of-place word gave me a bad feeling. Rena called a doctor, then called Mion. And after that, she called a director? Who was this director? Since Rena and Mion's conversation was so peaceful, I only felt slightly odd.
二人とも何の話をしてるんだよ。
What are you two talking about?
監督ってなんだよ。
Who's this director?
ケイちゃん知んないの？
Don't you know, Kei-chan?
監督って言ったら監督だよ。
We meant the director when we said director. What?
映画の監督とか。
Like the director of a movie. That still does not make any sense. Why would you call a director of a movie? It's... I don't like where this is going.
工事現場の監督とか。
Or like a foreman of a construction site. No, thank you. I'm scared. I dug through all my memories for a director who might have business with me. Only one thing came to mind. What Rena had just said. The construction site foreman. The very first victim of the first incident. The dismemberment at the damn construction site. The foreman. But that was strange. He was supposed to be dead. There's no way they could call him.
お前らが何の話をしてるのかわからないよ。
I don't understand what you guys are talking about.
その監督が俺と何か関係あるのか？
What does the director have to do with me?
来るって言ったけど、うちに来るのか？
You said he was coming. Did you mean to my house? I asked the obvious question after another, but all the two did was smile coldly at each other. There was a huge difference between how the two of them appeared and how mysterious they were playing out. Slowly, I felt discomfort, panic welling up inside me. I couldn't understand what Rena and Mion were talking about.
ケイちゃん、最近は野球に凝ってるんだよね。
Kei-chan, you've gotten into baseball lately, haven't you?
監督。それ聞いたら喜ぶと思うな。
Pretty sure the director will be happy to hear that.
だから、監督って誰だよ？
Who's this director?
監督は監督さんだよ。
The director is the director. Still does not make any sense when you say that.
だから、監督って誰だよ？
So, who is the director? Yeah. Rena and Mion looked at each other and laughed haughtily. That disturbing crackle unpleasant resounded around me. Okay. That laugh, long enough to be unsettled, ended abruptly.
そうだ。
Oh yeah,
監督が来る前に済ませとくかな。
we should finish up before the director
ケイ
comes.
ちゃん、覚えてるかい？
You remember, don't you, Kei-chan? Her face was laughing, but Mion's eyes told a different story.
覚えてるって何をだよ？
Remember? Remember what?
ケイチくん忘れちゃったのかな。
Kei-chan, have you forgotten, I wonder?
罰ゲームなんだよ。
About the penalty.
罰ゲームなんだよ。
About the penalty.
忘れちゃったのかな。
Did you really forget?
おはぎの宿題。
The homework with the mochi.
どれがレナの作ったおはぎかを当てる宿題。
The homework where you were supposed to guess which one Rena made.
あれ、確か宿題忘れだったよね。
You forgot about that homework, didn't you? I certainly did have that homework, but I had thrown it the rest of the mochi after I found the sewing needle, so I wasn't able to answer which one was Rena made. The penalty for that. Why now? Yeah, okay. No doubt, my question was written all over my face. Their answer to my question was that dry laughter. I could no longer make heads or tails of anything. I began to think that this entire day was somehow insane, strange, incomprehensible. Being chased by Rena, attacked by strange men. The penalty Mion and Rena were talking about. Yes, keep laughing, keep laughing. Okay. And can we stop laughing now? What were those two laughing at? It didn't take long for me to realize that I had been dragged into an abnormal situation. Oh. Who were these two? Who are these people? Who are these doppelgangers of Rena and Mion? Rena had gone behind me at some point. Why was she pinning my arm behind my back?
何の真似だよ？
What are you doing?
動かないでね。
Don't move.
罰ゲームだから。
This is your penalty. My body was already sluggish, and Rena pinned my arms made that much more harder to move. I seriously tried to struggle, but she wouldn't even budge. My panic began to well up, and I realized this was well beyond the realm of jokes and pleasantries. This freakishly monstrous strength, it would have been impossible for Rena that I knew. Then, this thin, frail arm grasping me firm. Whose arms were they?
ケイちゃん、抵抗しちゃダメだよ。
Kei-chan, no struggling.
快速台。何錠でもいいや。
Club rule number, whatever, it doesn't matter which one.
罰ゲームに抵抗しちゃダメなんだからさ。
You can't fight against the penalty. Mion. No. That thing that looked like Mion spoke to me like how Mion would speak to me. But I was certain that this was not Mion. Someone who wasn't Mion. Someone who was just pretending to be Mion.
監督が来る前に済まさないとね。
Need to finish this up before the director comes. What are you gonna do? Mion fished in her pocket and pulled out something bizarre. I could tell what it was by looking at it, but for such a thing to be in her pocket, my mind wouldn't accept it. What is it?
なんだよそれ。
What is that? It was a small syringe? Why would you have a syringe? It was a small, clear syringe, the kind doctors might use when they want to help when you went to them with a high fever. Rena held me even tighter, and all I could hear is the chattering laughter that no longer sounded like laughter blaring into my ear. That eerie laughter, it wasn't something that Rena I knew could ever produce from her own throat. The thing was pretending to be Rena. Was their real laugh. Unable to defend myself, the syringe Mion was holding drew closer, and that needle tip waved in front of my face countless times.
大丈夫大丈夫。
Don't worry, don't worry.
痛くないから痛くないから。
It won't hurt, it won't hurt.
何をする気だよ。
What are you planning on doing?
これは一体何の真似だよ。
What kind of sick joke is this?
ケイちゃん、何言ってんだか。
What are you saying,
わ
Kei-chan?
かってんでしょ。
You know exactly what's going on, don't you?
何が
What?
俺には何が何やらさっぱりわからねえよ。
I don't understand any of this at
出
all.
るくせに。
I know you. Oh wait, I know you know.
今さらかまととぶられてもな。
No use playing fool in the late in the game.
わけのわからないことを言って俺を煙に巻くのはやめろ。
Stop talking nonsense and trying to confuse me.
富武さんと同じ目にあってもらう。
You're going to have done to you what happened to Tomitaki-san. Wait, what? What? The same as Tomitaki-san? I really don't understand what she meant. What did that have to do with the syringe?
ケイチくん、とぼけてるね。
You're playing dumb, Keiichi-kun.
うすうすは気づいてたくせに。
You should have realized it by now. Rena whispered into my ear, laughing as if to admonish me. But even the way she spoke was repulsive beyond compare. Playing dumb? Me? About what? What do you mean, the same as Tomitaki-san? I don't like where this
み
is
んな初
going.
めはひき逃げされたものだと思っていました。
Everyone thought at first it was a hit and run.
ですが、意識を確かめるために近づいた警官はすぐに異常に気づきました。
Except when the officer got close to check if he was still alive, he soon noticed it wasn't a normal situation.
喉がね、
His
引き裂かれていたんですよ。
throat was scratched out.
ナイフとか
From a knife or something?
いえ、
No.
爪でした。
Nails. Nails? Nails as in fingernails? With those gouged through? That's right. Tomitake-san had clawed out his own throat with his own nails and died. There's no way someone could die like that. So for that to happen,
薬物を疑いましたが、そういう類のものは検出できませんでした。
we thought it was drugs to be blamed, but none of that nature was detected. Or natural. That's right. The police didn't find any drugs in Tomitaki-san's system. Oh, is that going to be the same undetectable
警
stuff?
察は富武さんの遺体から薬物は検出できなかったって言ったぞ。
The police told me that they didn't find any drugs in Tomitaki-san's body. Oh, okay, that was laughing. Oh, okay. The two of them laughed together. with that sickening laughter. Of course they laugh. To assume that such a medicine didn't exist just because the police didn't know anything about it was completely foolish. Meaning the drugs that caused Tomotage-san to die in such a bizarre manner did exist. If Mion injected this into me, then that would probably be all the proof I needed. That would basically mean I end up the same as Tomotage-san. Become hysterical, scratching out my throat in my last moments, then die. For such an outrageous drug to exist, for Mion to be holding it, and that I would be about to be injected with it. At that moment, I didn't feel there was any need whatsoever to question it. What kind of idiot, when he trying to dodge a ball of flying straight into his face, has time to think of a reason as to why it was flying at him?
観念しなって。んじゃ。
Just give up, alright? Mion's actions lacked any gravitas, and it made it even more terrifying. There was none of the ceremony like when someone is sentenced to death. There's no hesitation at all, as if she was brushing with her teeth. Mion reached out with one hand and grabbed my chest. Yeah. I felt electricity had run through my back of my head and the entire world has gone dark. Did I stand up too fast? Or did someone hit me really hard in the back of my head? Having lost my sense of balance, I was assaulted by a wave of dizziness. Oh, poor Keiichi. What's gonna happen? I'm scared. Someone send help, please. Help. Oh. End. Is this like a mid point, or is it gonna be the end? That's an abrupt end if that's the case. Oh, okay, so that's a second midpoint. Interesting. Man, this chapter is long. This is longer than the last chapter. Dang. I squatted down for a moment. When I came back to my senses, the entire room had been drastically changed. The numbness in my head was gone, and slowly, I could tell blood was flowing through my extremities again. How long had I been squatting here? How many minutes? Has it been hours? It was almost as if the hands on the clock had stopped moving the entire time. My eyes were closed. That's how little time has passed. Really? The air in my room wasn't filled with the madness from before, only a dull silence. Rena wasn't pinning my arm, and Mion wasn't there, about to inject me with a needle. No way. Could it be? All of it was a hallucination? There was no other presence in the room besides my own. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. Oh, certainly, with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but I also seized with some sort of comfort. I guess that terrible ordeal was a hallucination. Neither Rena nor Mion, they wouldn't ever do that, something so terrible. My head grew hot. I could tell my emotions were welling up. Why? That wasn't a reason to cry. Why? It was sorrow. Why was I sad? I don't understand. I don't understand. Kind to everyone, not discriminating against age or gender. Mion. Yeah. That Mion was sprawled by the window in a natural pose. Blood stained her deep red from the head down to her chest. The bright crimson smeared on the walls that splattered had undoubtedly come from Mion. She had always had a bright smile and was kind to me from the day I transferred. Rena. The same Rena was slumped at my feet and was making the same pool of blood as Mion. I couldn't comprehend what had happened. Did someone come to save me? Then they beat these two down with this metal bat. I finally noticed a weight in my right hand. How long has it been there? Don't tell me the drugs made him do that. It was Satoshi's metal bat. It was covered in deep red. There is no doubt that this was the weapon used to mutilate both of them. And I was holding that weapon. I was the only person in the house. Oh. What? Looking at this objectively, I couldn't think of anyone other than myself who could have done it.
俺がやったのか
I did this? That's right. Ichimabara. Of course I did it. I told myself gently, as if coaxing myself. Hey, me. There's no reason for you to remember it, nor is there any need to regret it. Eat or be eaten. You get that, don't you?
血が
But
血が
the blood.
こんなに
The blood! There's so much. Neither Rena nor Mion had moved an inch. It wasn't just a split forehead or a trickle of blood. Nothing that simple. The entire room was splattered with red. That told me it didn't end with just 2 or 3 strikes.
死んじまったのか
Are they dead?
二人とも
Both of them? The depths of my mind were calm. At the surface, I was panicking and agitated. Calm down, Kichimabara. What happened to your usual calm self? Come on now. Do like you always do. Throw your head back and take a deep breath. Come on. Once. Twice. Breathe in deeply. Calm down. Calm down. I chanted that over and over in my head and relaxed. Oh. Color came back to my vision, and smell refused in the air at the same time. I remember what happened when I blacked out. Oh, he remembers. Yeah, hi. Rena and Mion had attacked me. They're both back to inject me with whatever caused the same symptoms as Tamataki-san. But right before that happened, I fought back. I twisted my whole body through Rena as she was planning my arms. Then I followed through with my spin, rammed my foot as hard as I could into Mion's torso. It was soft. Rena tried jumping on me, so I tackled her as hard as I can slam her against the wall. I didn't let that brief moment of having them off balance slip by. Satoshi's bat was left carelessly by the side of my desk. Okay, so it wasn't drugs. No, he didn't out of self-defense. Weep. At that moment, everything went pitch black. There was nothing recorded past this point of the videotape in my mind. No, that wasn't right. It wasn't right after... Wait, it wasn't that there was nothing recorded. It was recorded just fine. Just the other me inside myself had told me not to look and turned off the TV. Just because the screen had gone black, I couldn't see it, doesn't mean the videotape within me hadn't recorded it. TV was just off. The video was still playing. Tape within me, creaking along, still playing. At the other end of the pitch black screen, that horrifying video was still playing on. Oh. So, self-defense, right? Right? Hopefully. Compared to this, though, this is a scene right before my eyes, was still too difficult to take in. There's blood spattered everywhere on the walls, the two of them in this unnatural poses. Not a sight of movement from them. I couldn't even tell if they were breathing. No matter what the circumstance was, my friends, these girls, I had attacked them. I may have even killed them.
You really need to go to bed now.
Oh, it's already 1:30.
Your magical adventures
Maple,
can wait
please.
until tomorrow.
I'm having a
Rest
rough
well
moment right
and
now.
Replenish your energy.
I know.
Take care of yourself so
I know.
we can continue our journey together.
I know, Maple.
Good night.
Good night, but you kind of ruined the moment. I know, I really need to go to bed, but this is long. Alright, where were we? But if I had done this, I would have been one done for. Balancing that out with my imaginary skill, I felt odd that I've been feeling bad about it. Even it was a bit excessive. This was just justifiable self-defense. The proof was all here. The two of them collapsed here, and Mion's syringe. Mion's syringe filled with some unknown drug would certainly solve the mystery surrounding the incident with Tomataki-san. And from the fact that both of those were involved, they'd be able to pick out the criminals one after another. You know what I realized? What if the syringe was nothing but water, and it's all just a practical joke? A really bad practical joke. And that would just make Keiichi just a murderer at that point. Sure, they'll probably still consider it self-defense maybe, but I don't know. Okay, I don't like where this is going. I'm not sure where I last left off on stream, so hopefully I didn't lose too much progress on stream-wise, but in the end, at least on the VOD, later on it'll be all complete. But yeah, I'm not sure where it died on. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Why are you streaming
Thanks
now?
for the warm welcome.
Oh, no,
D3K17.
technically, I
Maple,
was
the
streaming
bear
regular
magical
time.
girl is thrilled to have you here.
Yep, thank you, Maple.
Let's
Thank
make
you.
some magical memories together on this enchanting journey.
I know it's past my bedtime, I know. But, as you, I'm not sure if you saw, I was streaming at my usual time, but my internet provider apparently had a planned outage, even though they never told me about no planned outage. And I was getting very close to the end, probably. And when it only lasted like for a couple of minutes, then the internet went back up. And I just really want to finish this. I know it's past my bedtime, but I just really want to finish this. But yeah, my internet just died on me. There's a planned outage without even notifying me it was a planned outage. But yeah, I just want to continue finishing this game. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, maybe. But that's okay. It's okay. Totally fine. Totally fine. But yeah, I'm just going to continue on. But yeah, I'm glad you're here, nonetheless. But yeah. Okay, so, let's see. Since you just got here, let me do a quick recap. It's the last chapter too. What did I miss? Oh, yeah, the recap. So, let's see if I remember correctly. It started off at Beige's house. He went to school. Mion questioned him why he had a bat. And then things got awkward between Mion and Keiichi. Then he went to start his class, and after class, he went back outside. Then Rena started to follow him again, but this time she had a hatchet. Yeah, a hatchet. And then Keiichi started running away, and Rena kept on following him. Then at some point, he went down, like his legs gave out. Rena caught up to him. She was about to swing the hatchet on him, but he got some energy, and then he pushed her away, continued to run away. He went to the dam site, construction site, where he met two really strange people, two men. One of them choked him. Keiichi passed out. He tried to fight back, but that didn't work. So yeah, they choked him out. He passed out. Apparently, Rena found him. No one else was around him. Then he was at his home. Rena was just going over, like looking at him. And then they started talking. Then the doorbell rang. Mion showed up. Then they went back to Keiichi's room. Then Rena and Mion started talking about some sort of director. I was like, what kind of director is he talking about? Then they talked about, the movie kind of director. But I was like, why would a movie director be here? Then things happened. Then Mion pulled out a syringe filled with who knows what. It could be just water, or it could have been a drug. Because they're talking about how they were going to take him out, like Tomataki-san, like the same thing that happened to him is going to happen to Keiichi. Keiichi fought back in self-defense, but he blacked out, so he couldn't remember it at first. But then he kind of regained his memory, and it turns out he, in self-defense, hopefully, killed both Rena and Mion. And that's where my internet died. And that's pretty much a quick summary. Not really a good summary, but a summary nonetheless. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened in the last 2-ish hours. Yeah, very crazy. But when I was talking about before my internet died, I was saying that what if the syringe was nothing but water, and this was just a whole elaborate prank? And then Keiichi mistook it. But then again, it could have been a real drug. So I don't know. But my theory is it could have been just water, and they were pulling a prank. And Keiichi just murdered them. Out of no reason. But then again, could have been a drug. So it could have been 100% self-defense, but yeah, I'm not really sure. But yeah. I'm just gonna continue now because I'm not sure how long I have it because I just reached the second midway point. But yeah, it was quite the stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue. I might be a suspect for this, but that was fine. Anyway, now there should be a police officer. This wouldn't fade into darkness like Rena's past incidents. As long as the police were involved, that should bring this to a close. They probably revisit the investigation on the chain of incidents. Oshi-san would definitely get to the bottom of it. I don't know. Meaning, my wish of not wanting to die, of wanting to know the truth, would finally be fulfilled in the most basic form. Yeah, I was not expecting any of it too. Oh, is my internet dying again? Hopefully not. Okay, good. Okay. I was just monitoring my stream just to make sure. Okay, I think we're good. But yeah, everything's getting crazy. It was all a matter of time now. The doctor Rena called should be getting here soon. That's if she did call a doctor if she wasn't pulling a prank. But we'll see. I'll confess everything to him. I needed to contact Oshi-san. At the moment, I remembered. Besides the doctor, a director has been called. Yeah, see, the director. Who knows who the director is? Because at first they were kind of inferring that it could have been like a director of the baseball team. Because he was, quote-unquote, swinging and practicing his swings. Which is still weird. But I don't know. It was easy to imagine that they were someone deeply involved with the incidents, judging from Rena and Mion's conversation. The ache in my chest caused by some gruesome deed I'd be done for, dissipated rapidly. It was not over yet. This place was no longer safe. Stay calm, Keiichi-Mabara. It's not over yet. I need to live long enough to tell the police of this incident. At that moment, I felt like I heard someone's voice from outside. Since people were speaking, it must mean that there is more than one person. Oh, I wonder who it is. Is it the doctor? I moved the curtain ever so slightly and peered outside. It was a bizarre sight. About 4 or 5 men were all gathered at the gate. 4 or 5 men? So it's definitely not the doctor. It could be the director. They're very much resembled the 2 men who assaulted me at the dam site today. Those 2 might have been among them. There's one person wearing a white coat, but he didn't look like a doctor at all. My gut told me he was in disguise, only posing as a doctor. The guy would probably ring the bell and get me to open the front door, pretend to be a doctor to get me to open the door, and then the rest of them would all rush in at once. At that moment, I saw a car parked behind the men, and my heart nearly skipped a beat. The white van. Oh, it's the white van that tried to run them over. No mistaking. That van, the one that tried to run me down. The men in the white coat entered the gate and headed towards the front door. The rest of the men hid between the bushes and watched him. Oh, hopefully he locked the door. I probably couldn't pretend I wasn't home. Undoubtedly, they just break in the window to enter. I need to get out of here somehow. Then use the public phone to contact Oishi-san. Then meet up somewhere. First of all, I need a weapon. Those shoes, then shoes. But before all that, there is one thing I had to do. I had no intention of dying. I live and reveal the truth about the nonsensical curse of Orochi-sama. But what would happen from here on, regardless of how determined I was, may bring out my demise. And that's why there's one thing more important than getting out of here right now. I needed to get that clock out quick and take down the note hidden behind it. Dang it. The tape was sticking to it fast. It'd be fine if I tore a little. I just opened up slightly torn note and began writing down another passage with my ballpoint pen. If I wasn't able to inform Oshi-san, then the only thing I could rely on is this note. I never thought of a torn college-ruled notebook piece of paper could be reliable before. I had no time, only write what I knew right now. I need to leave some sort of information that would lead them to uncover the truth. Rena and Mion's conspirators of perpetrators. This was an undeniable fact. I still don't want to believe it, but it was fact. Anyway, I leave the rest information that would help lead them finding the perpetrators. The 5 or 4 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This was everything I was able to see from the window. There may be more. Also, there is an unidentifiable person known as the director. To begin with, the term director didn't mesh with Hinamizawa at all. If they were going to include the director from the past incidents, then the only one in the construction foreman, the victim, was the first murder. The very first victim in the chain of incidents. Killed in a lynching, his body divided into 6 pieces. His right arm, never discovered. The police should have confirmed that death, but Ren and Mion did both call him director. They said director. They wouldn't use the term to refer to someone who was dead. The police would never even convince that someone who was deceased could be involved. Could that be some sort of oversight? I don't know. But even if I don't know, it could be a bit hint of Oshi-san. That's right. They need to start fresh from the first incident. It wasn't just a simple dismemberment, but the start of a string of mysterious deaths that would follow. So then, there must be something hidden there. Please reinvestigate the victim of the dismemberment incident. He's alive. His death should have been established after an autopsy. That stuff. Logically, you would think as much. But was that really the case? Could it have been some sort of ploy that we're able to deceive the police with? I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but he may still be alive. I had no time to ponder that right now. Oh yeah, there's something even more important that I need to write. Kamatake-san's death was a form of an unknown drug. That's right, the drug that was an irreplaceable piece of evidence. No doubt, just by having this, everything would be uncovered. I could just leave the vital clue laying around. This syringe is proof. Write that down. I struck the syringe in the back of the clock with plenty of tape, so abruptly it would not slip out and fall into the floor. Firmly. Ding dong. The bell rang. They were here. I couldn't write anymore. But even still, there's one thing that I had to write. I have no idea why it's become like this. This may be the closest thing to the truth out of everything I wrote on this note. If you're reading this, then I'm probably already dead. Though, you may or may not find my body. If I was going to write down everything that could happen, either dying from the curse or being demoned away, you who are reading this, please uncover the truth. That's my only desire. Oh my. With this, my last will and testament was complete. It was certain that I was going to die, but it was my final plea. Just in case, I folded the note, stuck it back on the clock, and returned the clock to the usual spot. I couldn't help but pray, Oshi-san, If something happens to me, I leave the rest to you. After that, I gazed down slightly at Rena and Mion. This was probably the last time we'll ever see each other. Rena, Mion,
俺
I
みんなのこと本当に友達だと思ってたんだぜ。
I really thought all of you were friends. But why did it end up like this? I never had any fun in my previous school. I only worried about the standardized test scores, about if school I had hoped to get into was really what I wanted to go, or a safety net was all that I talked about. It was a dull life. The people I called friends were also my rivals in studying, in competitions, in personal records, and standardized test scores. Everyone had here taught me how unhealthy that lifestyle was. The month was really fun. Making a fuss over lunch, making a fuss over club, making a fuss over the festival. Something hot began dripping on my face. Uncontrollable tears. I should have no obligation to shed a tear for them. But they wouldn't stop. Even if they were after my life. Even if they were trying to kill me. Everything had happened in this month I wouldn't forget. Oh, poor Keiichi. Or could it be those happy days were all a facade as well? Was it a trap, meticulously orchestrated up until then, to ensnare me? Could it have been that I had just abruptly assumed that they were my friends? That couldn't have been the case. Both Ren and Mion, they really were my friends. Those happy days, there were nothing fake or unclear about them. Someone probably forced them to try to kill me. Or their minds were taken over, possessed by the supernatural entity known as Orsho-sama. Regardless, both Ren and Mion, they're the best friends ever. And when they were coming after me, it wasn't of their own volition. But they weren't the kind of people to sell off their friends, no matter what means were employed to enforce them. And there's no such thing as being possessed by Orsho-sama couldn't happen in reality. Then, did the real Ren and Mion come after me? What was I thinking? What a silly, dumb idea. I'd been beamed down both Ren and Mion. I was still debating if they were the real ones or fakes. There was no real or fake. Only reality was before me. Ren and Mion, sprawled over on my feet, was the only truth. I was only trying to twist the facts of my belief that I had beaten my own friends to death. No matter how I spun it, it wouldn't change the reality. Ren and Mion were both dead. It felt like they were cracked in the dam of the strange emotions that I've been holding back. It felt like my calm state, which was nothing more than a bluff, had rescinded, and in that opening, instantly was leaking out. I killed them. Anna and Mion. I killed them. Oh. The doorbell rang again. Ding dong. The unrelenting echo pulled me back in a state of composure once again. I don't have a moment to spare. Quickly, I need to get away. I don't want to die. I wouldn't uncover everything after that. The identity of whoever had pushed me this far. Even if I had to drink mud and eat grass, I would starve. I would definitely starve. I killed Rena for that very reason. I also killed Mion. I went that far just to keep living. So I couldn't die. For my sake, and for the sake of the late Ren and Mion, I have to survive. I ran towards the door and grabbed my shoes. The doorbell rang again, as if to urge me on. Ding dong. Behind this single solitary door, they were there. Oh. Keep quiet. I headed towards the kitchen, headed towards the back door. Before opening that back door, I put my ear to check for people outside. No one. After I put on my shoes, I opened the door slowly, as not to make a sound. Oh, please, no one there. Of course, they're respecting that. There he is, the back door. The piercing voice echoed out. That voice stabbed through me, setting my hair on end. I had to run. Get out of here, Keiichi. One after another, I felt like rational and intelligence, those things used when you have time to spare, spill out of me. I don't feel any pain from the branches scratching my arms and forehead. My autonomously pulsing heart also felt neither fatigue nor pain. My entire being just wished to live. There is nothing else it desired. It probably had no complaints whatsoever, so of course I wouldn't feel fatigue. Oh, I just ran, just recklessly rushing in the direction I was already heading. Even if no one was chasing me, I'll still be running like this. There wasn't a thought in my mind about where I was heading. Turning around, I felt the presence right next to me. The presence was, without a doubt, chasing me like my shadow. If I took one mishap, I would have been devoured. That's what I thought. So I didn't turn around. I didn't stop. I ran at full speed. Oh, please make it, Keiichi. Please make it. I'm rooting for you. The Higurashi. That was the chirping of the Higurashi, telling me it was evening, trying to tell me something, and I finally heard it. There are wailing cries of the victims who didn't make it. Would I be joining them? Hopefully not. Only the Higurashi knew. They knew everything. They definitely knew. So I ran towards where I hear more of the Higurashi's chirps. But the further I ran, the further away the chirps became. I couldn't get near them. Why are you all running away? Was it my fault? Was I the one to blame? Then I'll apologize. I am sorry. 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 I felt that I felt that only the Higurashi knew. Oh, another midpoint end. Man, that's the third one. Is it going to be the end or is it just another midpoint? Oh no, it continues. Let's see. Run from the truth of your crimes. Chased by shadows. Oh, I got an achievement. Nice. Alright, so we got an achievement, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. The smoking room was filled with a cloud of cigarette smoke. The expensive smoke filter gave off some crackling electric noise, but it didn't seem like it was doing anything at all. Why do smokers have to be shoved so far down the corridor where the sun don't even reach? I recall hearing the tax revenue from the tobacco was about 1/10 of the municipal's revenue. Were they the most heavy tax members of the municipal? I can't speak. So I really wished that they showed us a little more respect.
どうしてこれがウーマン切りなんすか？
Why were you discarding 5 of the menzu there?
街が狭くなっちゃうっすよ。
It's just decreasing your options. One of the younger detectives was having a staring contest with Mahjong magazine called Next Turn.
ウーマン切ってもテンパイ崩れませんから。
If you're still in Tenpai, if you cut the 5 manzu.
配定にかけるなら両面で受けた方がチャンスあるんじゃないですか？
If you're betting on the high 10, then shouldn't you be going into with the Magan? I have no idea what Mahjong rolls are. I'm not familiar with it too much. Kuba-kun looked at the pawn.
ウーマンは全員切ってますから安牌なんですよ。
They discard a 5 manzu. It's a safe tile.
終盤で K 点に走った誰かがダマで待ってたら嫌でしょ。
You hate it if, at the end game, someone was sitting at the tenpai at the last turn, wouldn't you? The kid let out a groan and put out his cigarettes, then took out another one.
納得いかないっすね。
I just don't agree.
わざわざ自分で当たり牌減らすなんて。
Why would you reduce your own options? Yeah, you don't know either? Yeah.
ちなみに配定で当たり牌出しても論しちゃダメですよ。
By the way, you call it wrong with your winning tile that high time.
え？どうしてですか？
What? Why is that? Just then, I heard a voice coming down from the hall.
大石さん、いますか？
Are you here, Oshi-san?
一般の方から凱旋です。
You have a call from a civilian.
ありゃこりゃどうも。それじゃちょっと失礼。
Whoa, ain't that something? Well, see you soon. Oh, hopefully
どうしてロシ
hopefully it's Marbara that's calling. Why can't you call on Ron on it?
アああ、待ってくださいよ大石さん
Hold on for a second, Oishi-san. The man sitting into Oishi-san was heading towards waved at the telephone receiver.
外線です。
Outside line.
講習から。
By a payphone.
すいません。
Oh, why thank you.
お待たせしました。
Sorry to keep you waiting. This is Oishi.
もしもし
Who is it?
大石さんですか
Gigi. He's alive. So far. Oishi-san.
もしもし
Hello?
前原さんじゃありませんか。
If it isn't Marbara-san.
どうも。
Why, good
こんにちは
evening. From the tone of Marbara's voice, I already knew he was in a predicament. This was the first time Marbara had a phone to me, and she was calling from a payphone.
落ち着いてください。
Please calm down.
何がありました
Did something happen?
その
Well, his voice was erratic over the line. It had completely lost his sense of composure. After checking that no one else could hear, I prompted him in a hushed tone.
何があったんです
What happened? I
落ち着いて前原さん。
calm down, Marbara-san.
今そこに近場の警官を行かせます。
Can I have a local officer head your way?
私もすぐそっちに行きますよ。
I'll be there soon.
その多分無理です
I think that's impossible. His voice was quite quivering and hoarse. He wasn't surrounded by people, even as he was making this call, was he?
前原さんは今公衆電話からかけてますよね。
Mabara-san, you're calling from a payphone right now, right?
どこの公衆電話ですか
Where is that payphone? There was no sounds besides Mabara-kun's voice. It had to be a phone booth. I stretched out a note and thrust it at my colleagues, sitting across from me. Himazawa, phone booth. He understood quickly and hesitantly stated in an internal line.
落ち着いて前原さん。
Calm down, Mara-san.
今どういう状況なんです
What's your current situation? It was best practice to avoid flustering someone panicking, but this was an urgent case. Mara-kun didn't just get into trouble, get away, and then call me. He was in the midst of something dangerous right now. But yelling at Marbara right now would just needlessly cause him to be more frantic. Marbara-san, or Marbara-kun.
Moonmist, this is the last time I'm telling you
Oh.
that you really need to go to bed now. Rest is essential for your well-being.
So you don't
if
reset.
you don't, we might have to end the stream. Take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Big sister.
Yeah, no problem. So you don't reset after stream end? Interesting. Oh yeah, because Mix It Up is still up. Yeah, that's probably why. But yeah, you're gonna probably end the stream, and I'm gonna have to override it. Yeah, I know. Nope, not this time. Yeah, this is the last time that she's telling me. Okay, but I overrode it. But she's gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna wait her out.
Fine. Moonmist, you can stream a bit more.
Yes,
But
thank you.
please remember, you really need to go to bed soon.
I
Your
know,
health
I
is
know.
important to me.
I
Let's
know.
enjoy a little more magic before saying goodnight.
Yes, good night. I'll go to bed soon. I think this chapter's almost done. Alright, so with that, we're good. Okay, let's go. My son wasn't just calling to seek help. Yeah, I'm not touched that. Oop, where am I? I know, she's so loyal. I love Maple. She's the best little apprentice that I have. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. He was trying to tell me something more than that. And whatever that was, if I didn't get it from this call, I was certain there would never be a chance. But yeah, she's very loyal. I like Maple. My colleagues pushed a note in front of me. There's only one booth in Himazawa. A patrol car is on the way. 5 minutes.
かかりすぎです
That's too long.
警らには何人乗ってます
How many officers are there?
2人です。
2. Not enough. If it was as I imagined, there's likely quite a few people surrounding Marbara-kun. 5 minutes was too long.
南沢の駐在さんには電話しました
Did you call the officer station in Himazawa?
定時巡回の時間です。
He's scheduled to be on
家
patrol.
人は留守で連絡不能。
They're currently out. It'll be impossible to contact them. Gosh, dang it.
車を回してください。
Bring the car around.
了解っす。
Understood.
もしもし、
Hello,
おじさん。
Oshi-san.
もしもし、
Hello?
大丈夫です。
It's alright.
ちゃんと聞こえてますよ。
I could hear you loud and clear. There was something wrong with Marbo-kun. That wasn't a normal coughing sound. Vomiting. Or was it blood? Had he already been attacked? Was he injured?
前原さん、
Marbo-san,
今そこに警官が向かってます。
the police are on their way.
2、3分で到着しますから、なんとか持ちこたえてくださ
They'll
い。
be there in a couple of minutes, so hold on somehow.
もしもし、
Hello?
聞こえてますか？
Can you hear me?
前原さん、
Marbo-san. I could hear on the other end of the line that he was having a coughing fit. The worst possible situation popped into my
前
head.
原さん、
Marbo-san,
犯人は誰です？
who is the culprit?
何人なんです？
How many are there?
俺も
I
最初は人間が犯人なんだと思いました。
I thought at first the culprit was human. Ugh. I couldn't tell if it was a cough or vomiting.
大丈夫ですか？前原さん。
Are you alright, Mabro-san?
犯人は人間なんだって。お社様のたたりなんかないんだって。
I thought
そう思ってました。
the culprit was a person and not Orsho-sama's curse.
ついさっきまで。
Up until right now.
だけど、やっぱり。
But I guess in the end, blah, blah. It was intense about coughing, then
で
vomiting.
も、やっぱり
Thank you, thank you.
お社様ってのはいるんだと思います。
But I guess Orsho-sama does exist.
いや、
No,
います。
he's
今、
here.
前原さん、どうか、ど
Mabro-san,
うか落ち着いて。
Mabro-san, please just calm down.
なんかさっきからおかしいと思ってたんです。
I had been thinking it was strange for a while now.
ずっとつけてくるんですよ。
It's been following me this whole time.
走っても走っても走っても走っても
I ran and ran and ran and ran,
影みたいにぴったりくっついて。
but it sticks to me like my shadow.
だけど少しず
Slowly,
つ少しずつ
so slowly,
俺の背中ににじり寄ってくるんです。
it's taking itself into my back.
前原さん、そいつ
Mabro-san,
は今ひょっとして
are they
前原さんの後ろに
Mabro-san, are they there right now? Perhaps right behind you?
後ろに
Behind me,
すぐ後ろに
right behind me.
お願いです。前原さん、
Please, Mabro-san,
怖いのはわかります。
I can tell that you're scared.
ですがお願い
But
です。
please,
後ろに誰がいるんです？
who is it that's right behind you?
振り向けるわけないじゃないですか。
I can't look behind me.
振り向いたら
If I do,
俺
I'll...
怖いのはわかります。
I understand that you're scared,
でも教えてほしい。
but please tell me.
ちょっと振り返るだけでいいんで
You
す。
just need to turn around a bit. Who
前
is
原
it?
さんの後ろに誰がいるんです？
Who's behind you, Mabro-san? Right after I said it, I could hear him vomiting intensely. What followed was in a nightmarish sound.
前原さん、
Mabro-san,
あんたまさか
it couldn't be that you're
喉を引っかいてたりは
clawing
しな
out
いでしょ
your,
うね。
clawing out your whole throat? There's no answer, but I couldn't hear something like scratching. Oh, I could hear something like scratching. There was a bang, as if something was being hit. Mabro-san had probably dropped the receiver. I could hear growling and vomiting on the other end, and repeating an abysmal noise.
もしもし、
Hello?
もしもし、
Hello?
前原さん、
Mabro-san?
もしもーし。
Hello? I knew how far away my voice would sound on the other end, but I couldn't help but shout. At that moment, I heard whispering, coming from the other end. I couldn't tell what he was saying. From the way he was saying it, was he talking to himself? Or was he talking to someone there?
もしもし、
Hello?
前原さん
Mabara. Son. Rather than whispering, it was some sort of mantra he was chanting over and over. I focused my senses trying to pick up on what he was saying. What was he repeating? What exactly? Beep. Suddenly, the line went dead. Did he use up his time? It was because of it was a payphone. It was because it cut out so abruptly. The last thing he said came out clearly in my mind. I'm sorry.
車は OK っす
Oishi-san, the car is ready to go.
おいさん
Oishi-san. It was... I'm sorry. I knew it. I knew he said I'm sorry.
おいさん
Oishi-san. That's what he was repeating over and over. He said, I'm sorry. I had a gut feeling. There was no longer a need to hurry. I heard the chirps of the Higurashi spilling in from the open window. Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q Q. It should have been able to. I should have been able to hear them this entire time. I just wasn't paying any attention. Why did I just focus on all of them all of a sudden? Q Q Q Q Q Q Q. Q Q Q Q Q Q Q. Were they trying to tell me something? Only the Higurashi knew. That's how I felt. Oh, poor Keiichi. So it sounds like Keiichi didn't make it. Oh, I was rooting for him to live. June 1983. In Himazawa, a remote village near the Shinobone city, there was a murder involving 2 female students. Very sad indeed. The suspect is Keiichi Marabara, age, something to teens, so maybe anything from 10 to 18, somewhere around there. The suspect called over his 2 female classmates, Rena Riguru Mion Shinozaki, to his house and beat them up to death with a metal bat. The scene of the crime was at the suspect's room on the 2nd floor of his house. The inside of the room was covered with a significant quantity of splattered blood. There were signs of a struggle with the victims. In addition to the scene of the crime, the entryway, living room, and kitchen, all traces had a struggle. And at the entryway, the shoe rack and the wall had evidence of being impacted by a strong blunt object force. It's also believed to have been the same bat as the murder weapon. Having no traces of blood, it is believed the destruction occurred before the murders. There is a possibility that the subject overpowered his victims to keep them from fleeing. In the living room, the rug has been pulled back and thrown aside. It is hard to believe that there had been a connection to the struggle with the victims, and thus the reason for this remains unknown. In the kitchen, the garbage bag was torn apart and its contents was spread out on the floor. Garbage was spewed about around the sound area, and handprints believed to belong to the suspects were discovered. It is to believe the suspect had some sort of reason to take out the garbage and struck it with his fists. The reason that remains unknown. In addition, there was a note stuck to the fridge. The words were, "Was there a needle?" written on it. The meaning behind this remains unclear. Just in case, the garbage was searched, but a needle was not discovered. Throughout the garage door was functional and had been left open ever since the suspect moved in. The garage door was found closed. The suspect's fingerprints were discovered at the garage door. The reason behind this remains unknown. The suspect fled the scene of the crime. However, a patrolling officer, Hinamazawa Local PD, found the suspect collapsed inside a phone booth. At the time of discovery, the suspect was unconscious in critical condition. He was rushed to a local hospital for treatment, but did not regain consciousness and died 24 hours later. Oh. The result of the autopsy indicated that the ultimate cause of death had to be hypovolemic shock. It was determined that the suspect has clawed out his own throat, and his fingernails and resulting bleeding caused his death. the similarity of deaths with Tomitaki-san the week prior, the police believed there was a connection and had opened an investigation. However, due to the wishes of the local authorities, it had been confidential investigation. Due to its abnormal nature of his death, it was suspected that the drugs were involved, but as with Tomitaki-san, no traces were discovered. What prompted all this remains inexplicable, such as the case has been treated as an act of committed on impulse. However, the several accounts of suspects' bizarre behavior leading up to the incident, it is possible that it was premeditated. Separate from his group of friends, isolated, inexplicable behavior. Several days before the incident, the suspected suspect has begun carrying a metal bat. The suspect was observed displaying aggressive behavior as well as talking to himself at school. His classmates have already heard portions of what he was saying. 2 days before the incident, the suspect declared to his parents the possibility of his death. Due to this circumstance, the police had begun an investigation on the possibility that this crime was not committed on impulse, but instead was planned several days in advance. Afterwards, a note was found in the suspect's room that he had written himself. The note was written on 2 sheets of B5 college rule notebook that had each been torn in half, as if trying to conceal it. It was stuck behind a clock on the wall. Wait a second. Did he tore it out? I don't remember him tearing out the... I think whoever was inside the house, the group of people, found the note, tore out information that didn't need to be disclosed, and put it back where it was. So yeah, they tampered with the note. That's unfortunate. The contents are written in the appendix. The police believe it to be strongly related to the incident. The police changed their line of investigations based on the possibility that the suspect was involved in some sort of incident himself. However, no further clues were found, casting doubt on credibility of the note. Was the crime impulsive or premeditated? Within the situation unclear, and no further developments, the case has been labeled unresolved. Dang, that's unfortunate. However, the following year, suspicions aroused regained the nature of the note. The note was not written on 2 halves of B5 paper from 2 separate sheets, but it was originally a single sheet of B5 paper. Yep, so they did find it. Oh, they found a note, and they tore out the unimportant information, and they probably took the syringe too. Dang. In order to erase several lines from the middle, someone had torn them out. Judging from the size of the letter, the missing section is estimated to be 2-3 lines. It is highly probable that the person who eliminated the lines in question is not the suspect. In addition, judging from the traces of large quantity of cell phone tape being stuck to the back of the clock, cellophane tape being the clock, the speculations that something other than a note was stuck there has arisen. So they did take the syringe. The person who first discovered the crime was a detective rumored to have a connection with the incident, Kurauno Oishi. He underwent voluntary questioning, but denies involvement in any damages to the note. The suspect's note. I, Keiichi Marbara, am feared for my life. I do not know why they're after my life. The only thing I know is that it has to do with Oshi-sama's curse. Rena and Mion, conspirators of the perpetrators. There are 4 or 5 adults, maybe more. They have a white van. This is on the first sheet. The section below had been ripped out. This is from the second sheet. The section above has been ripped out. I have no idea why they've become like this. If you're reading this, then I'm probably already dead. Though you may or may not find my body. You, who are reading this, please uncover the truth. This is my only desire. Keiichi Marbara, that they did remove any evidence of the syringe. So no, the syringe was actually the real deal. Dang. Higurashi, when they cry. Wow. What an interesting game and story. Was awesome. A new scenario has been unlocked. All cast review session has become available. To play it, select extra in the title menu, then pick the all cast review session? What? What is this? Please uncover the truth. Complete Osho-sama. Yeah. Alright, so we did complete the game, so that's pretty cool. But man, that was... Wow. That was intense. So unfortunately, in this game, Mion, Rina, and Keiichi all died.
日暮らしの泣く頃につい鬼隠しをプレイされた皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
Alright, so let's see what this is about. Thank you for buying Higurashi When They Cry, Onikakushi, a visual novel by 7th
い
expansion.
かがだったでしょうか。
Does it continue from here? I'm not really sure where the second chapter continues from. If it's anything like the anime, it could be a different timeline. But I'm not really sure. I haven't really dive into the visual novel portion. Because I'm not sure if it's from the original, it explains. But I'm not sure if that's a spoiler. That might have been a spoiler if you haven't. Because that's all I know about it. Like, a certain character, I'm not going to say who, but from the anime. I know from the second anime, it explains, or the remake, it explains a lot. I can't remember from the original though. But all I know, it is technically a different timeline. And a certain someone resets the timeline. But I'm not gonna say who, because I kind of know who it is thanks to the anime. Well, we'll see. Alright, so let's see.
ちょっぴりでも楽しんでもらえたらとっても嬉しいです。
How was it? If you enjoyed it, even a little better, it would make me happy.
ちょっぴりも何も。
Even a little bit is stretching it.
あんなすごいバッドエンドで終わられたらプンプンでございますことよ。
That incredible dark ending made me angry, you know. Satsuko has a point. And it made me a bit angry too that 3 people died. Made us angry.
今回の鬼隠しは全体の謎に挑む人たちが最初に通るお話。
This Onikakushi chapter is the first story of the readers challenging the mystery of the eerie series gets to experience.
だから実質上のプロローグの位置づけなんだって。
So it's actually supposed to be somewhat of a prologue. Oh, okay. Makes sense, I guess. So this is a prologue to the entire series. Interesting.
そのプロローグがこんな凄まじいバッドエンドでございますの？
How could the prologue have such an incredible dark ending? Again, Satsuko makes a good point.
でもそういうのってあるじゃん。
Yeah, but that doesn't happen sometimes.
この最悪のバッドエンドを回避するためにプレイヤーさんが物語を模索していくのがこの作品の醍醐味だし。
The player digging through the story in order to avoid a bad end is the point of these type of games after all. Well, technically, this was just straightforward. It was a linear story, so I didn't really have choices. I was hoping that there'd be some sort of choices here and there, but it was all linear.
まだ始まったばかりですよ。僕は次のお話が楽しみなのです。
It's still the first chapter. I'm looking forward to the next one.
これからどんな話が待ち受けてるんだろう。
What happens in the next chapter?
レナは聞いてる？
Rena, do you know?
うん。
Yeah, they say the next chapter will introduce another aspect of the story.
他のシナリオにはどんな展開があるんですの？
That's a strange way of putting it. What does that mean? Yeah, what does
今
that
回
mean?
の鬼隠しではひなみ沢で近年起こった連続開始事件が紹介されたでしょ？
In this chapter, they introduce a string of mysterious deaths that were happening in Hinazama recently, right?
例えばみーちゃんのシナリオではひなみ沢の古い歴史なんかが紹介されるんだって。
The next chapter will introduce some of the history of Hinamazawa. Oh.
異様事態の連続ですっかりわかんなくなっちゃったけど、お社様のたたりってどういうものなのか。
One with the strange events happening after another? I totally got lost. What exactly is Orsho-sama's curse about?
いや、そもそもお社様って何なのかあまり説明なかったからね。
Actually, what is Orsho-sama to begin with? They didn't explain much. Yeah, they really didn't too much.
よくは聞いてないんだけど。
I haven't heard much about it.
でもなんか嫌な予感。
But I have such a bad feeling about it.
またしてもたたられそうな嫌な物語です。
It feels like it'd be another one of those scary stories where somebody gets cursed again.
ケイちゃんも大変だね。
Tough luck for Keiichi-chan.
今度 はどんなたたりにやられるやら。
What kind of curse is he gonna get hit with this time?
でも、どんなお話になるのか楽しみでございますわね。
However, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of story it'll be. No. Hi.
いや、遅れてすみませんね。
Sorry for being late. My bad, my bad.
やあみんな、
Oh, Tamataki. Hey everyone.
お疲れ様。
Good work for today.
お疲れ。
Same to you.
あれ、ケイちゃんは？
Huh, where's T-chan?
ケイチ君はもう次のシナリオの台本読みに行っちゃうんだよ。
K-chan's already reading off the script for the next chapter.
人公だから大変だね。
It must be hard for being the main character. True, that is really hard to be the main character. Huh?
残念ですね。
That's too bad.
ちょっとだけでも顔を出してくれればよかったのに。
I could at least poked in to say hello.
きっと喋るワード数が多すぎて居残りなのです。
It's probably because he doesn't have any character art, so he couldn't poke his head even if he wanted to. Why? He has plenty of character art.
前原さんのセリフだけで普通のアドベンチャーゲームな
No, he does.
ら
I'm
全
pretty sure he
員分の
does.
量がありますからね。
Rika-san, that's what they refer as a personal problem.
しかし、ケイチ君やレナちゃんなんか特にだけど、大変なお話だったね。
In any case, the story was really trouble. A lot of trouble, especially for Keiichi and Rena-chan.
大変も何も大大バッドエンドでございますわ。
It's trouble? What was the mother of all bad ends?
結局ケイチ君を襲ったのって正体は何なんだろう。
I wonder, what was the identity of the thing that attacked Keiichi-kun?
たたりに見せかけておいて、実は人間の仕業ってのが僕の推理なんだけどね。
Yeah, it is a bit weird, but it's not kind of like, what's it called? Wow, one of the things like the movie, like the director, not the actors talked about stuff. Man, it is a bit weird, but it's like them just recapping what's happening, so it's kind of like, they're just doing a play or a movie. They're just characters. Kind of like an epilogue, yeah, kind of. But not a true epilogue. But yeah. It's like, just them, like, I guess in a sense they're like, pretty much are actors in the story. So, and they're just recapping and talking about it, I think. I think what? Oh, my theory is that they worked with people and made them look like curses.
でもケイチは最後に謎の電話をかけてきていましたのです。
But Keiichi made that mysterious phone call and at his demise. Yeah.
ね。
I also thought that call was strange.
あの時点でケイちゃんは犯人は人間だと確信してたはずなのにさ。
At that point, Kei-chan should have been certain that his culprits were people.
おかしな電話でしたわよね。
That was really a strange phone call.
なんかお化けに追いかけられてるみたいな。
It almost sounded like he was being cursed by a demon or something, or ghost or something.
あの電話だけだとやっぱり犯人って人間じゃなくてたたりなのかなって思っちゃうよね。
Just from the phone call, it really makes me think it was the work of a curse after all.
せっかくですから意見を出してみようじゃありませんか。
Since we're all here, why don't we all share our theories?
じゃあ園崎さんから。
Let's start with Shinozaki-san.
私は絶対に人間説。
I absolutely believe those people.
ひなみ沢の怪しい昔語りかなんかになぞらえて誰かが起こってる人為的事件だと思うね。
I think it was made as a man-made incident that was intimidating that strange folklore floating around Hinamazawa.
確かに
Certainly.
毎年お祭りの日になると起こる連続開始事件なんて怪しいもんね。
Every year on the day of the festival, one for another link in the chain of the mysterious deaths happen certainly is suspicious. But Keiichi didn't die during Hinamazawa, or like the festival. He died like a couple weeks after the festival, though. Doesn't really make sense if you think about it. Yeah, I don't understand why he died now. I'm confused. Because only one person's supposed to die, and then one person's supposed to disappear. Then it's supposed to happen the next year. Someone else dies. But this happened like a couple of weeks after. That is very strange. Not really, I don't understand. But okay.
その連続開始っていうのも何かの昔語りの再現なんだよ、きっと。
That so-called chain of mystery is death. It has to do with someone trying to reenact the folklore, definitely.
私はたたりだと思いましたよ。
I think it was a curse.
玄関で圭一さんが暴れたシーンとか、ラストの電話のシーンとかを見れば、人間が犯人では説明がつきませんもの。
Look at the scene where Keiichi went berserk in the entryway, and the last scene with a phone call. These cannot be explained with a human culprit.
そういえばそうだよね。
When you say it that way,
とても人間の仕業とは思えないシーンだったし。
it really wasn't the type of scene that would make you think it was the work of an actual person.
僕はそれでも人間が犯人だと思うね。
Yeah, but then I still think it was a person who did it.
あの玄関やラストのシーンは追い詰められた圭一君の被害意識からの妄想じゃないかって思うんだ。
The last scene and the one with the entryway. I think the stress must have driven him into paranoid delusions.
難しい言葉を使われてもわかりませんわ。
You aren't helping me to understand by such complicated words.
つまり、怖がりの圭一が見た幻だと言ってるのです。
In other words, Keiichi was so scared that he was imagining things.
じゃあ、あのシーンの正体は、圭一さんの後ろにいた謎の気配は何なんですの？
Then, what was the meaning behind the scene? What exactly was that mysterious presence behind Keiichi?
引っ掛けだよ、引っ掛け。
A red herring. RED HERRING.
みーちゃん、引っ掛けってどういう意味？
Mi-chan, what do you mean by red herring?
富田家のおじさまが言うようにさ、あのシーンは追い詰められたケイちゃんの被害妄想のシーンなんだよ。
Like old man Tamataki here said, the scene was a result of Keiichi having a stress-induced delusion from being mentally cornered.
それを濃密に書くことで、プレイヤーにたたりだと思わせようとする演出なんだよ。
The overly graphic depiction was a ploy to make the player think it was a curse.
だから引っ掛けってわけ。
That's why it's a red herring. Right.
それを言われると、でも。
But when you say it like that, but.
まあそういう可能性もあるってことだよ。
Well, it just means that that's a possibility.
だとすると、犯人は複数で村ぐるみっていう劇中の大石さんの推理は正しいのかな？
Sorry, I'm out of MP. I need to recharge.
Why? I still don't understand why she does that again. That is weird. Alright, Maple, I don't know what's going on with you. Let's go to bed, okay? Anyway. In any case, the theory that Oshi-san proposed during the story, that was a conspiracy by the villagers, was correct.
当の本人の大石さんはどう思いますか？
Yeah, her batteries are probably very low. And I think she just needs to go to bed. But she's staying up with me, I guess. She's that loyal, I guess. Even though she's tired, she'll still stay awake, just for my case. I feel bad for her now. But anyway, what does that mean? What does that man himself have to say about that?
私ですか？
Me?
悩みますね。
It makes you think, huh?
あれ？
Huh?
大石さんは人間説だと思ってましたけど。
I totally thought that Oshi-san would be behind the people explanation.
劇中の私は犯人は人間だと断じてますが、人間が犯人だとすると、いろいろ不可解なことが多いんですよ。
During the story, I said it was definitely the work of people, but if a person really was to blame, that leaves a lot of loose ends.
例えばどんな？
Like what?
大石刑事さんの推理を聞かせてください。
Let's hear what Detective Oshi-san's theory is.
まず人間が犯人だとすると、絶対に動機が必要なんです。
First of all, if a human is the culprit, then there has to be a motive.
こういうことをして、誰が得をするのかってことなんです。
In other words, someone has to gain something from it.
つまりおじさま、人間 が犯人なら、連続開始事件を起こすことによって、誰かが得をしなくちゃいけないってこと？
So what you mean is that if it was the work of people, there would have been something to gain from causing the chain of mysterious deaths?
そういうことです。
Exactly.
ダム開発の関係者が死ぬうちは利害も感じられましたが、近年の犠牲者はそれとも無縁です。
I feel that someone could have benefited from the deaths of the people related to the dam development, but the recent victims weren't related to that at all. That is true. Like, Satoshi, not really too involved, even though I think they said that his parents were somehow involved? I don't know. But Keiichi, on the other hand, he was not really involved until he was learning about the past. Strange.
第一、前原さんを殺して誰が得をすると言うんです。
Exactly. Oh. Man, another bot. Dang. Well, that's interesting. Anyway. First off, who benefits from killing Marbar-san? Two bots and everything. I see.
そう言われると僕も弱いな。
If you say like that, my case is kind of weak too. That is true.
だ
Who
っ
must
て
benefit from
お
him?
金とかも取られてはいないんですもの。
I mean, none of your money was stolen.
人間が犯人なわけありません。
There's no way it was the human culprits.
でもそうとばかりは限らないんじゃない？
But that's not everything there is to it, right?
さっきみーちゃんが言ったように何かの昔語りの再現そのものに意味があるんだとしたら、
Like Mii-chan said, there might have been some sort of reason for them to reenact the folklore.
そういうこと。
Exactly.
これは営利殺人じゃないんだよ。
This wasn't a murder where you consider the topical
き
motives.
っとこれは村の血塗られた歴史を再現するための何らかの儀式的殺人じゃないかなって思うわけ。
It makes me think that this was most likely some sort of ritualistic murder that to reenact the blood-stained history of the village. But where would they
で
really
は聞
reenact
きますで
that
す
though?
が、それを再現すると誰か得をするのですか？
So, I'll ask the question of the hour. Who gains from this reenactment? Exactly. Rika has a point.
得をするんじゃなくてもっと心理的なもの。
It's not a simple belief. It's more psychological reasoning.
僕は何かの復讐じゃないかと思うね。
I think that maybe this was an act of revenge.
土着的な何か。
Something native to the region.
今回のシナリオでは語られなかった因縁だよ。
Some connection not touched on this time around.
なるほど。
Interesting. I see.
過去にひどい扱いを受けた暴家の人たちが先祖の恨みを晴らすためにってな感じですか？
A member of a repressed family looking to air out an old grudge of their ancestors. Something like that?
私はそれにも反対ですね。
I don't like that. Neither do I. I don't like
じゃ
that
あ
either.
何？大石さんはまさかたたり派なわけ？
Then what is it? It could be that you're leaning towards the curse explanation, Ushi-san?
そうですわそうですわ。
And that's right, that's right.
刑事役のお石さんが言うんですもの。
And that man was playing detective so cool.
たたりに決まってますわ。
It's decided it was the curse.
劇中で前原さんが言うように、お社様が竜宮さんや園崎さんに乗り移って悪さをしているって考えると、
If, as Mabro-san said, that during to the story, it was the curse of Arsha-sama possessed Regu-san and Shinozaki-san and committed those acts.
一番辻褄が合うんです。
That would fit the evidence the most.
残念ながら。
As much as I hate to say it.
実はレナも大石さんと同じ意見なの。
Actually, I'm of the same opinion as
あん
Oishi-san.
なに優しかったレナやみーちゃんが突然おかしくなるなんて、そうじゃなきゃ説明つかないもの。
I cannot come up with another explanation for the normally kind Rena and Mii-chan to suddenly start acting strange like that.
そこはミオンの私が言うのも変だけど、やっぱり私なんだと思う。
But about that, it may sound strange to come from the person yourself, but I think that I, Mion, didn't.
みーの話の意味が分かりにくいのですよ。
I don't get what Mi is saying.
説明が欲しいのです。
I like an explanation.
あ、ごめん。
Oh, sorry.
つまりさ、
In other words,
これってすっごく残酷な話なんじゃないかって思うんだよ。
I think this may end up being a real cruel story.
何みーちゃん。
Wait, Mi-chan.
それってひょっとして。
You don't mean...
突き詰めるとそうなるのかな。
Taking the human culprit theory is logical conclusion. That's how it would seem.
僕もちょっと疑ってる。
I also have my suspicions.
つまり、ユムさんも園崎さんも、実は本当にああいう性格で、引っ越してきたばかりの前原さんを騙している悪魔なんだと。
You have to get the next chapter to get an explanation. That's how they get you. Probably, yeah. You have to get the next chapter. You have to play the next game to find out more. Let's see. In other words, Ryu-san and Shinozaki-san both actually had those personalities to begin with, and were merely deceiving Marlboro-san.
こういうわけですか?
Am I right? Oh.
そんなの嫌ですわ。
I don't like that at all. Neither do I. I don't. I want to believe that's a curse. I don't want to believe that was their actual true personality.
これは全部タタリの仕業なんですのよ。
This is all the curse's fault. I agree with Satsuko. It is all the curse's fault.
皆さんもミオさんもみんな優しい、いい人がいいのですの。
Rana-san and Mio-san and everyone else is all kind, nice people.
レナもそうだな。
I think that too.
レナやミーちゃんって本当にいい人なんだって思う。
I think that Rena and Mio-chan are really good people at heart.
きっと劇中で出てきた厳しいシーンは何かに取り憑かれてたんだって思うの。
I think that during the story they must have been possessed by something.
レナもタタリ派か。
So Rena also thinks it was a curse.
じゃあ、タタリ派の皆さんにお聞きしますけどさ、
Then let me ask everyone who thinks it was a curse.
タタリが怒るからには、それなりの理由があるんでしょ？
There has to be a reason for a curse, right?
無差別にたたるとは思えないな。
It doesn't make sense for a curse to just indiscriminately befall someone.
そこんとこ説明できるの？
Can someone explain that?
タタリはタタリですもの。
A curse is a curse.
人間の考えでは想像もつきませんわ。
Human logic wouldn't get us anywhere. She has a point.
さて、
Satoko-chan.
擬人化された神様という存在は結局は人間の生み出したものなんだよ。
A personified deity in the end is nothing more than a creation of people.
だからその考え方も人間に理解できるようにできてる。
That's why their method of thinking is also understandable to
ギ
humans.
リシャ神話の神様を見てごらんよ。
Just take a look at the Greek pantheon.
泣いたり怒ったり嫉妬したり、とにかく人間的なんだよ。
They cry, they get angry, get jealous. Basically, they're just like us humans.
つまりお社様もまた人間同様に何らかの利害に基づいてたたりをしているということですか？
So you're saying that Osho-san is cursing people with the same benefits in mind?
変な言い方になっちゃったけど、つまりはそういうこと。
That's an odd way of putting it, but basically, yes. Interesting.
触らぬ神にたたりなしって言いますからね。
That's why they say, far from Jupiter, from his thunder.
一理あります。
You do have a point.
つまりお社様にせよ人間にせよ何か理由があるはずということなのです。
Basically, it doesn't matter if it's Horisho-sama or humans. There has to be a reason.
リカ？
But Rika,
その理由がはっきりしないなら
but
ど
what
う
if
な
that
ります
reason
の？
isn't clear?
つまりは
I don't
わかん
know.
ないということなのです。そうだね。
That's right.
まだプロローグだもんね。
This is still just the prologue.
明かされていないことがたくさんあるだろうし。
There's still a lot of stuff that hasn't been revealed yet.
そうだね。
Yeah,
現時点ではこれ以上の推理は難しいね。
it's hard to come up with any more theories at this point.
いんにゃ。
No,
白黒つけないと納得できないな。
I won't be satisfied until this is all made clear.
ミオンさんもこだわりますのね。
Mio-san's rather particular about this.
限られた状況で最大限に推理する。
We'll just make the best with what we know.
ちょっぴり部活感覚で面白いでしょ？
Doesn't this feel interesting? Like the club a little bit? Yeah.
そう考 ば面白いかも。
If you put it that way, it does seem interesting. Oh,
じゃあ整理してみましょうか。
well then, let's summarize.
私はたたり派です。
Let's see, I think it was a curse.
富武さんは人間派でしたよね。
Tomitaki-kun thinks it was people, right?
ええ、
Yeah,
僕は人間が犯人ってことでいきます。
I'll go with being people.
私も人間犯人説。
I also agree with people explanation.
もちろん、たたりというファンタジーは嫌いじゃないよ。
It's not too hard. That's not to say I hate such a fantastic things like curses.
だけど、今回の事件に限っては、たたりの線は薄いね。
The connection to a curse is a little weak.
人間派が2人出ましたね。
Two for the people explanation then.
リグさんはたたり派でしたよね。
Rigu-san was on the curse side of things, right?
はい。
Yep.
レナとサトコちゃんはたたり派です。
Satoko-chan and I believe it was a curse. Right?
ええ、
Yeah.
たたり派ですわよ。
I think it was a curse.
レナさんやミオンさんのことを悪魔みたいに言う人の方がよっぽどたたりに合うべきですの。
People who say that Rena and Mion were evil to begin with are more befitting of a curse. Exactly.
そりゃあまあ、私も自分のキャラがそんな悪魔みたいなやつだとは思いたくないけどさ。
Well, I don't want to believe that my own personality was that twisted.
部活モードの時にはクールでなきゃ。
But I have to keep cool-headed when I'm in club
感
mode.
情論だけで選ぶと大やけどするよ。
If I base my choices on emotions, I'll regret it, you know.
まあまあ、
Well, now,
どっちを選んだっていいじゃないですか。
it doesn't really matter which side you pick, does it?
あれ、リカちゃんがまだだね。
Huh? Rika hasn't said anything yet.
どっちだと思う？
What do you think?
僕はお社様が悪い神様だとは思わないですよ。
I don't think Osho-sama is the bad god.
あれ、面白い意見だね。
That's an interesting
当
opinion.
たってばかりの悪い神様なら祀るのは嫌なのです。
I don't want to worship some bad god that just curses people.
僕はたたるよりご利益のある神様の方が好きなのですよ。
I like a generous god more than one that curses.
そっ
Understandable.
か、リカちゃんって巫女さんをやってるんだよね。
That's right, Rika-chan is a shrine leader.
いい意見。
Yep, good opinion.
じゃあ何？
Then what?
リカちゃんはお社様じゃないって思うなら、やっぱ犯人は人間って思うわけ？
If Rika-chan doesn't believe it was Osho-sama, then do you think the perpetrators were human after all?
そういうことにしますのです。
Well, let's just go with that. Okay, so she's on the people side. Well
票
now,
がざっくり分かれましたね。
that means the votes are split right down the
たた
middle.
り派と人間派で半々ですか。
So half of us think it was a curse, and half of us thinks it was people. Rena-chan, just for reference, what does the test player who played the beta version think? Yeah. There are a lot more players who believe in people explanation. See, right there. Our veteran comrades are cool, collected, and very observant. But the beta version only finished partway through the story. That's right. Even the people who played the beta might change their minds if they got through the very end.
どうすんのさ。
What should we do then?
これじゃ意見は半々。
That means the options are still
決
split.
着がつかなくて面白くないよね。
It's no fun if we don't settle this.
裁判官が奇数なのはつまりそういうことだからね。
We just need an odd-numbered judges, in other words.
あと一人意見が欲しいな。
Wait, was that another bot? Dang. 3 bots. Dang. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead. About time to clear that overlay. Weird. Let me clear the chat real quick. Come on. Work with me. Did that clear it? Okay, yep, I cleared it. Weird, 3 bots. That's okay. Not really okay, but yeah. Again, bots, I don't want your viewers. I don't want to pay for your viewership. No, thank you. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. We need there to be an odd-numbered judges. In other words, we need one more opinion.
あ、ならちょうどいいかな。
Ah, perfect timing then.
ケイチ君本 人に聞いてみない？
They are liking you more and more, apparently. I wish they would not spam me with the same message all over and over again. That's a perfect timing then. Why don't we go ask Keiichi-san himself?
電話で。
Let's call him. Oh,
たたり殺された本人の意見は貴重ですよ。
the opinion of the victim itself is very valuable.
そうと決まれば、
Yeah.
早速電話ですわ。
Since that's decided, it's time for the phone. Interesting. Oh, phone call.
もしもし、
Hello, Keiichi-kun.
レナです。
It's Rena.
今お仕事お忙しいですか？
Are you busy with work right now?
ああ、忙しいぞ。
Yeah, very busy.
シナリオが1本終わって一休みって思ってたら、すぐに次のシナリオだもんな。
Just when I thought I'd get a break because the chapter's over, it's already time for the next one.
ケイちゃんどんな感じ？
How's Kei-chan?
忙しいって？
Busy?
うん、
Yeah,
拗ねてる。
he's moping.
聞こえてるぞ、こら。
I can hear you, you know.
お前ら打ち上げ会でいいよな。
It must be having nice to have a wrap-up party.
俺も出たかった。
I wanted to go too.
収録の残り台詞数で僕たちの誰か一人でも抜いたらケイイチも参加できるのですよ。
You come if you get some character art for yourself. Wait, did Keiichi never actually have character art? Oh, I guess he never did have character art. I thought he did at one point. I guess it really means that Keiichi never did have character art in this chapter. Dang, I feel bad for Keiichi now.
リカ、あの量でそれは不可能ですわ。
Rika, that's a secret.
それで、ごめんね、ケイイチくん。
Sorry about that, Keiichi-kun.
今回のシナリオでね、
Anyways, during the current
ケイイチ
chapter,
くん、
Keiichi-kun.
死んじゃったじゃない？
Oh no, now she sounds like one of those art bots. Oh yeah, she does sound like one of those character art bots, yeah. Or at least a spammer. Or, what's that called? Not a spammer, but well, rather people, yeah. But what's it? Those people, scammers, yeah, scammers. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the scammers. Yeah, I don't like those people. If you always tell that they have the same art as everyone else, other scammers. It's like they commission the same cheap artist to get all those, or they just steal their art from someone. And it's very easy to tell when they're scamming. It's really easy to tell. So they all have like pretty much the same art style. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and continue. Sorry about that, Keiichi-kun. Anyway, during the current chapter, Eiji-kun, didn't you die?
犯人は誰だろうね。
Yeah.
そういう話をしてるの。
Sorry about that, Keiichi. I already read that. Here. Were we just talking about who the culprit might be?
つまりさ、ケイちゃんを殺したのは人間かお社様のたたりかってことで意見が分かれちゃってたのよ。
Basically, we're all deadlocked on whether it was people or Oshi-sama's curse that killed you.
本当にごめんね。
I'm really sorry.
台本読みで忙しいところ。
Even though you're busy reviewing the
ケイイ
script.
チくんはどっちだと思うかな。
Keiichi-kun, who do you think it was? Isn't that obvious, isn't it?
どっ
Maybe.
ち？
Which?
どっちなんてもんじゃねえよ。
Isn't it both of them?
村の怪しげな奴らに狙われて、さらにお社様とかいう怪しいのにたたられて。
Targeted by suspicious people from the village and then cursed by some strange Oshio-sama on top of that? He does have a point. Both did happen at the same time. Oh, hey, Rito. Hi, how you doing? Hopefully-
Hello, Kieran Arvid.
Hi,
Nicole,
hi.
the bear magical girl.
Hi, Rito.
Welcome
How you
to our
doing? Thank you for the headband.
enchanted
Thank you.
tree. Your presence adds to the magic of
How you
our
doing?
journey together.
I know it's a
Let's
pretty late
create
stream today.
wonderful memories
I just
and
wanted to
enjoy
finish
the
this game.
adventure ahead.
I'm really close to beating it. I was interrupted by not a power outage, but the internet outage, so I had to split it up in half. But yeah, we're pretty much just doing the after party event. But yeah, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, okay.
これは何かの嫌がらせか。
Everybody's just picking on me.
かわいそうかわいそうです。
So very, very pitiful.
今度頭をなでなでしてあげますですよ。
Next time, I'll give you a good patting on the head. Oh, hey, talking about head pats. Ruto gave me a head pat, yeah. And thanks again for the head pat. looks like you're our Riga at this point.
結局、意見が分かれちゃったね。
Let's see, in the end, the opinions still split, huh?
私ももう一度考え直してみます。
I'll think this over again.
見落としがあるかもしれませんので。
We might have something, like, we must have missed something. Maybe.
それでは引き続き、日暮らしの泣く頃に水をお楽しみくださいね。
Well then, please look forward to the next release, Higurashi When They Cry, Watanagashi, Chapter 2. Oh, so I guess that's the end. Well, that was a good little after story. Okay, is that gonna be an end? Oh, yep, that is the end. Onikakushi party. Enjoy the Onikakushi or the after party. Yeah. So I think that's all the achievements, I think. But yeah, that should be pretty much it. We completed the entire game. That was cute. Yeah, that was a very cute little after story. Let's go ahead and actually let me just yeah, that should be pretty much it. So Ruto, sorry that you kind of caught me at the very end. So sorry about that. Yeah, that was kind of not really good timing, but that's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you being here too, even if it was close to the end. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, that should be pretty much it. Now that we completed the whole chapter 1. So for chapter 2, not really sure when I'm gonna be playing chapter 2. It might be either in December or next year in January. I don't know. I haven't really decided. Because for the rest of this month, or next month in September, I want to try to finish Persona. Yeah, mostly, that's what I want to finish. And then, I guess I can also finish Field of Mystria as well. Even though technically Field of Mystria, I don't think that game has an official end yet. Because I'm not really sure how far in development that game is. So I'm not really sure. So yeah, so with Higurashi officially finished now, I'm down to 2 games for the rest of the month, which is pretty cool. That's fine. Let's see. So tomorrow it is Wednesday. So yeah. So we're continue to play Persona. Then Thursday will be my day off. Then Friday will be Fields of Mystria. Then I guess on Saturday might be another Persona day, maybe. I don't know, I might move things back, or maybe I might do like 2 Fields of Mystria back to back, then 2 Personas back to back, maybe? I don't know. I feel like, well, no, if I do that, then I still have to change the schedule a little bit. I don't know, I'll think about it. But yeah, I think that should be it. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm gonna be ending the stream here off now, since this chapter was really long, especially with the after story. I did quite a bit too. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I had to split this in 2 streams, because my internet decided to go out for a bit. But surprisingly, it only lasted for a couple of minutes, which is weird. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, thank you for being here, Ruto. Yeah, it was a nice late stream, yeah, thank you. I wasn't really expecting it for going too long, but yeah. Yeah, thank you, D3, for being here, even if it was for the second part of the stream. I do appreciate you, nonetheless. I do appreciate you being here. And Ruto, thank you for being here, even if it was just for, the late part. I do appreciate you stopping by and saying hi, and giving me the head pat, too. I do appreciate that as well. But yeah, it's a nice rare treat. It is a very nice treat. But yeah, so tomorrow, Persona, I don't know, maybe, well, I don't have anything planned on Thursdays, and could be off, so could probably also extend maybe a bit for Persona. I don't know, we'll see. I might just do just the Haunted Mansion, because we're going to be on the Haunted Mansion tomorrow. So I might just do that, maybe a little extra. I don't know what else is there. Depending on how long the Haunted Mansion takes me, I do continue just an hour and a half, or maybe 2 hours, maybe, I don't know, we'll see when the time comes. But yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you for being here. I hope to see everyone again on the next time. So thank you all. And also anyone who is lurking. I do appreciate every single one of you. And those who watch the VOD, well, those who watch the VOD are going to have the complete VOD. So I'm going to be editing it into one episode on YouTube when it comes out. But those that are on Twitch, I'm sorry that you have to watch 2 parts. I'm really sorry if you do watch the VODs. But yeah, bye, and have a good night, everyone. Bye. Ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm a Higurashi now. Right, bye-bye.
Thank you for watching, lovely viewers. Your support fills our stream with magic. Join us next time at 11:30 p.m. PST for more enchanting moments. Your presence and energy light up our journey.